And hi!
Wow. That was beautiful. Welcome back, Jason.
Hey, Chris.
The man, the myth, the legend.
What's that thing that's looking at me?
That would be the camera.
Hey, I want a face with googly eyes on the camera.
You know that? Okay. It does help people.
Yeah.
It does help. I have put my face.
If it were like that with googly eyes, I would remember to look there instead of at the monitor, because I'm always looking at chat. But I never look. But if it had googly eyes and was staring at me the whole time,
I could put my face there.
I might get in a fight with it though. I might like punch it or something.
I have put
not because your face. Your face is not punchable.
I've put my face in front of the camera to help people. Like, hey, talk to me, and literally like doing this kind of number.
Hi, Christopher. How are you today?
I'm good. I think. Hey, speaking of good, Jason's back.
Hello,
back.
everybody.
Rants and Vomit, 62 months.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you so much. Who do we got
Oh, God's
here?
loud. Yeah, turn my mic down. I think he probably got it.
Oh, I got you loud?
Well, remember, I am the loud one in the company.
That's true. Sorry. Hey.
Sorry, everybody.
That was on purpose.
We forgot we had all the quiet ones up here.
We needed the grand entrance. Yes, I did have to change that up. Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah, especially since I was being loud at the beginning. If anybody has your eardrums left.
Hey, Dad's back.
Hi, look at me. I got my hair done.
You did. You got your hairs cut.
Yep.
I don't know how I like that.
My haircut?
No, your haircut looks great. Like where people say, I got my hairs cut.
But that's the truth.
It's true. I'm like, all right.
You also I'm wearing pant.
You are wearing a single pair of pants.
I'm wearing a pant. It's not a pair of pants.
I can't do that.
It's only one pant.
My brain can't compute that right now.
Are you wearing pant today? Because I'm wearing my pant. I have my blue jean on.
Oh, right out the gate.
It's called a shirt, not shirts, because it has multiple sleeves.
Painting Bites really was...
Language is dumb.
Really getting into this. I don't know. Christopher couldn't answer this question.
No, that is Christ offer.
This is Christ offer. Be at peace. The ridge at the bottom of the bottle.
I do have a question because Christopher didn't know what the ridge on the bottom of the bottles is for. Which ridge are we talking about? The mold ridge?
That's what I said.
Are we talking about the bottom of like our normal bottle?
Yeah.
Like this little indent?
What is that?
This is just where it comes off the mold and indexes on the mold.
Painting Bites, that's what I said. I stand loud and proud.
We going commando today? That has a totally different thing. If you're commando, you do not have your underpant.
Oh, man.
Underneath your pant. That's commando. Donald Ducking it is where you have no pant. No pants. I can say pants because you have neither underpant or regular overpant.
That's called Donald Ducking
and that would be Donald Ducking it. Because when have you ever seen Donald Duck wear a pant?
That's a good
Look
point.
at me controlling myself. I did not plural that.
This is going to be great clips. I have a whole system in place, chat, for you.
Welcome back, everybody. How we doing? Jason has come out swinging.
Yes. Jason, did you get any poutine up in Canada?
We went to a lot of restaurants that had poutine, but we did not partake of the poutine. We had so many other great choices that, except for night one, when we got there night one, Jen and I were so tired from planes, trains, and automobiles. We had to fly from here to Syracuse.
Yep.
And then from Syracuse, get a car and drive. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, no. We flew from here to Chicago to Syracuse, car and drive to Ontario. And so for us, it was a long day. And we went to this brewery that was next door to the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool, but it was probably the best time that I should have had poutine. But neither of us were more tired than we were hungry.
Mm.
So there you go. But we didn't eat poutine. I had on the last night there. I had the best carbonara I think I've ever had. I don't know. That's tough. It's very good carbonara that we had. So who knew? You go to Kanukistan and you get good Italian food.
Question from John.
I got some wash medium and some noosh. I have a question about using the wash glaze medium with transparents through airbrush for candy metallics. The transparents seem to be a little dull over metallics. Would wash or glaze medium help? So the transparents are all of our paints are very matte finish. So they will dull the metallics down a bit. If you are putting them over the top of metallic, that could be an issue. Gloss is what's going to bring that back. So a gloss varnish, right? You could mix gloss varnish in with the transparents, right? So that they give you more of a satin. You don't have to go, if you just put the gloss varnish over the top at the end as a final step, it might be too much gloss for you. You can mix the gloss and the matte varnish together, though, to get whatever level of shine you like. And you can brush it on to test. That's usually what you're talking about when you're doing something like that. Like when doing candy coating, it's all the gloss coat that makes the difference. When you're doing the paint itself, it tends to look very, very dull, like painting a car. It would be very dull until you put the gloss coat. The gloss finish is really the final part that brings the life into it. So, did I see Chris's great attempt at hot pink plaid? So somebody posted a clip of Chris failing absolutely miserably at something.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So
Jason couldn't even call it pink plaid in full confidence right there.
So I wasn't sure that was what that was supposed to be.
It
looked like it was supposed to be like marble.
It was supposed to be pink
like
plaid.
Checkerboard marble? I don't know.
It was not. I failed. And I am willing to say that as a man in front of you, chat. Question for Jason. Can we get a doubt emote for Chris?
Yeah.
Doubt?
Yeah.
What do you mean doubt? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Yeah. This is what Canada does to a man.
That's right. Well,
maybe it's called pants because you're assumed to be wearing outer pant and underpant together. No, because when you hold it up, it's like when you walk into the store, do you order, I would like a pant? Or do you have to go in and say, I'm looking for a new pair of pants? You say, I would look for a new pair of pants, but there's no pair there. Right? There's a pair of legs held together by an upper pant.
Wait, the legs?
It even is called pants legs. Also makes no sense. Language is stupid, man. Language is stupid. Ryan Scurvy, what's going on?
Ted Onion's question.
Everything went super awesome in Canada. Jen and I had a great time. We were ready to get home, and it's a good thing we came home. We had a bad situation with Cora. I posted it up in Discord. We came home, and Cora had a here you go, Chris. Here's one for the ages. She had an inflamed and infected anal gland. There you go.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's not exactly the thing you want to wake up and hear.
Oh.
But talk about timing. She was fine the whole time we were gone. I can only imagine what would have happened if you or Brenna would have been house sitting.
Oh.
And that would have been a thing, because imagine the hassle. That I would wish that not on anybody. That's definitely a dog owner thing you need to go through.
Sure.
But we got back, and the next morning she was struggling and had this inflamed area where her anal gland is. And so we had to take her to the emergency room, and she had to get it lanced and go under surgery and anesthesia and the whole nine. And we got her back late on Saturday. It was outpatient in that regard. We took her in at like 10 or 11 in the morning, and then we got her back at 6 at night. And she was super groggy, beat up on drugs. Dogs are always funny when they're drugged up.
Dude, that is rough.
But now she's back to being pretty much normal. We just have to watch her because it has to stay open area. They can't Band-Aid it.
Oh, man.
They literally drilled a hole in her like lancing a boil, and it's horrible. Horrible.
Ugh.
But poor Cora is doing all right. But that timing was just like, wow. She waited for us to come home to save that for mom and dad. So there you have that.
Interesting.
So we're glad we didn't stay any longer. But
Ted, on Jazz question.
Butter Toasty, thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. Glad you get to see us here. Avian, we went through Syracuse. Rented a car in Syracuse. Sounds like a bad country song or a folk song. I was renting a car in Syracuse.
Ted Onion says, I'm having some issues keeping a good consistency of the paint. If I put it on a dry palette and thin it in consistency, I want it dries too fast that by the time I finish a layer and go back for more, it has changed consistency. But if I try a wet palette, it turns into a puddle very quickly.
Ted Onions, are you thinning the entire blob of paint? Watch how I talk about painting, number one, right? Because you make sure that you're only pulling a tail of paint away from the blob. Right, the droplet. Don't ever thin the entire droplet. Oh yeah, we learned that a poutine restaurant is called a poutineery. There was a poutineery we kept driving past.
Mm-hmm.
We did not eat poutine.
I'm catching up with chat. I know.
Wait. Scroll back up. It says West Coast versus East Coast. Which is worse, leftover sushi or leftover poutine? So this is a great question. This is not a question I thought I would ever face in my life, but this is a great question because leftover sushi always has a question mark around it. Yeah. Always.
Leftover sushi?
I think the only leftover sushi that's any good is California rolls, the stuff that isn't actually sushi.
Okay.
Or the cooked stuff, like the tempura stuff, right? Uh-huh. So I don't know that regular sushi is good leftover.
Right.
So that's always has a question mark attached to it. Leftover poutine, I could see being kind of like eating mud, like because if it has the gravy and everything on it, what do you get the next day? Like fries already next day have a question mark because it's like potatoes the next day.
I wouldn't eat fries.
And then you put gravy on them, so it's really more like soup at that point, right?
Yeah. Ugh.
I feel like it's more like soup at that point. So I don't like either one of those. Can I say no? I'm going to say no. Chris is demoted back to hat merch pushing. Yes. We're not Buffalo to Nyack. Chris is the blood that makes the stream's heart, or Chris is the blood that the stream's heart pumps.
Well, you just added a whole nother metaphor, and I'm into it. Now, wait a second. Oh, man. I don't know. Jason just blew my mind. I'm catching up with Chad here.
I would just use metallic medium through the airbrush with the color through the airbrush. You can't go back to the idea of the transparents and the metallics. Being able to put the transparents into the metallic medium to create whatever color you want is great, but they may already be doing that, and that also dulls the color a little bit if you want intense coloring. So they mentioned like doing like a candy coat, right, or something like akin to a car where you have a underlying like you do like a gold metal flake and then put red over it. And you get this really neat warm red, but it's the gloss over the top that makes it all work. Because when you paint the transparent red on like a car or a motorcycle tank over the top of the metal flake, there's generally, unless you put a gloss in the red itself doesn't look great, and the metallic doesn't look great. It dulls it all down. But when you put the gloss over the top of it, it brings a shine of all of that back, right? So you can reduce the dulling effect of matte paint by putting a gloss over the top of it. It's magic. It just works. So. Chris never fails at anything. I mean, except for that checkerboard thing that he did. So
I do have the power to edit that out of existence. I won't.
That clip is on the internet.
I know. It's on there. We understand that. Never mind.
Gloss it at the end and it brings it all out, John Grammaticus. You got it. Best name ever, by the way. I appreciate Chris as well, Paint Liquor. Press X for doubt, always.
Press X for doubt.
Always. When on this channel, always.
No paint bites. I haven't found like a paint or not
Miniac had one where he ran through our factory and showed you all the bottling process, so you could go check his video on that out.
But not the making of the bottles.
Of how the paint and bottles are made. Oh,
and bottles, because Painting Bites was asking about the little rivet at the bottom.
Yeah, it's just a molding process thing, right? So all of that is the mold number. Like this, the number on the bottle is the part of the mold that it came out of, right? And this is just the part where it keys into the mold. So it doesn't, after it's molded, it doesn't roll around, and then they pop it out. So. But no, I don't have it. That's all done in California and New Jersey. New Jersey! All our bottles are made in the States, though. Tadpole, thank you. Glad to be back. So my method is dark silver with light silver zenithal, transparent green undershading, then Citadel contrast blues and gloss at the end. Yeah, that would look good. Good.
Yes, if you guys have questions that I know a slew of you just asked a bunch, so definitely repin them. I'm catching up.
Sark Banatoot. That's a great name. I just want to say Banatoot all the time.
Banatoot?
Yeah, the gloss over the end will change your life if that's what you're going for, is that kind of candy process. Because the gloss also gives it that thickness. Remember that when you see paint out in the wild, like on cars and stuff, where you see like a boat gloss or that metal flake or candy, the gloss, the thickness of the layers of gloss they put on it gives it a depth, almost like when you pour resin on a coffee table or something. Music liker, I want to paint a White Scars army set in the Siege of Terra with a dingier, earthier armor. I have the full PA set and would love your thoughts on a good brown to ivory workup from. There's always a really good idea to do dark umber, light umber, olive flesh, and then ivory or bright ivory over the top. Gives you a really dingy white. And then you can play, I always call it an accordion, right? You can pull the accordion and let more of all the colors show, or you can push the accordion more in and cover one color or the other, right? So you can leave more of the browns showing and have it be dingier, or cover more of the browns and just have them be very slight and have more of the ivories or olive fleshes show. And then you have this yellow, because the ivories and olive fleshes still kind of a yellowish, white, right? Really, really pale browns. And so then you can actually, kind of figure out how clean of dirty you want. Is that a thing? How clean of your dirtiness? But But I like those. I obviously, if you go to more orange browns, like even burnt sienna as a base, then it puts more oranges in them and can look more like they're fighting in that kind of terrain. You know, with browns, it really describes the dirt of the planet they're on, is how the white will feel. So if you use like the more neutral browns, like dark umber, light umber, then it's just going to be neutral dirt. If you wanted it to be like on a Martian Earth, like red Earth planet, something like that, then burnt sienna as a base, moving up. And you can do burnt sienna through light umber to olive flesh to ivory. You just have to change that first base. That would make it all look a ton different because it puts that more rusty orange feel in the crevices that can make it look really cool too. So fun to play with it. Trying to paint a bug creature with kind of a bulb-shaped body, going dark jade, dark turquoise, turquoise, great colors. How would you do an effect of a yellowish light shining from within?
Ooh, wow. That's a deep one.
So one of the biggest, you're describing one of the biggest problems when painting anything that is opaque plastic is, you know, imagine if you had a character holding a light bulb. Let's just start there. If you say it's bulb shaped, like imagine a character holding a light bulb and you wanted to paint that. Because the problem in the real world is that when you have something that's transparent or translucent, think frosted light bulb or something, and I'm holding it, and no matter how I turn it, the light will always still be in the dead center. The light part doesn't move unless I move the bulb, right? But as I rotate it, that little bright spot would stay right in the middle because it is right in the middle where the element is, the filament in an incandescent bulb or the LED array in the newer bulbs would be, right? And so it's always there no matter where you are around the bulb looking at it, you're always going to see the brightness in the center. The problem when you're painting an opaque piece of plastic is that you have to paint that bright dot. You have to pick which side to paint that bright dot on and then blend its brightness out into your jades and turquoises and things like that. But then when you look at it from this side, that bright dot doesn't exist. Or you paint it again and it starts to look like a lighthouse beacon, you know, where it has multiple facings of its big lights, like its spotlights. It sometimes has 2 or 3 or 4. And so there's spots where there's no light and spots where there's directed light. And that's what you'd be creating is hot spots along the side. So a lot of times I pick the money shot, you know, if we're going to look at a model. Bum, bum, bum. What's a good model to look at here? Like this with the OSL, right? I would pick a money shot. On her, the money shot is this right here because we get both the live and the dead side of the face, but I had to look at the model and say, okay, how do I want to turn the model for you to look at it? Because you might have said, this is the money shot. This is the one where I really want to hand it to people and have them look at it because it has the shine of the sword. But here you lose the kind of bluish glow that I have on the dead side. Right, she's got a live side and a dead side. So split in the middle is my money shot, right? If you're painting something like this, because that light spot, that glow from within is an OSL, it's just coming from within, so it acts differently in the way you paint it. But you still have to say, okay, it's from this side, and I would have the glow on the bulb be like right here, but of course when you turn it, it won't be there. So it's, you know, turn the bug around, it's not going to be all the way around. And if you just paint a stripe of brightness around it, it's going to look really weird because that's not how light works. Because you're dealing with the difference between painting, like, you know, with the same effect happens when you hold up a flask. You got a model with a flask and you're supposed to paint the liquid inside. Well, how do you do that? Because the jar actually has a halo of brightness around the edges of the jar. But if you rotate the jar, when you're looking at it in the real world, the halo never changes. It stays right where you are because of the reflection. But as soon as it's opaque and you rotate it, now the reflections move and eventually you're looking at it has a stripe of light in it. So that doesn't work. So it's difficult. And you have to decide if it's something worth doing based on if you can paint it from a single direction and be okay with that.
Let's see.
I'm going to get moving while we talk.
Yeah, please. Source says, any chance we'll get a bigger bottle of brush-on primer? I'm getting tired of rigging my airbrush for priming.
No. Of brush-on primer? Probably not. We really wanted them to be...
travel size, too.
We really wanted them to be travel size. It doesn't mean that I couldn't. I would have to do the pricing on it and the filling. You have to understand that every time we do another size, it becomes a different deal for production because now they have to produce, they have to set that into production to take that and make a batch for small bottles because that goes through one machine and make a batch for big bottles because that goes through another machine. So it's not something we typically do. That's why we don't offer any of our products in various sizes. You don't see the varnishes come in small bottles, and the brush-on primers don't come in big bottles. But with the brush-on primers, the difference is, I'm just paint gray right into the airbrush here. With the brush-on primers, we decided not to do them where we would do them in the 120 because we really wanted them to be travel size and to be able to go in sets, like beginner sets, where we really wanted you to be able to buy, be able to have the ability to like sell you a model with some brush-on primer and some other colors and have it feel right.
So what are you doing here, Jason?
I'm painting. I don't know if you know this about this stream, Chris, but this is a painting stream.
You're correct. This is a very serious business painting stream. Now you're starting with Payne's Gray, which is, are these guys going to be steel?
Steel?
Or silver?
These are my Blood Angels, buddy.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Sorry, chat. I went to die and I just came back to life. I was trying to remember what you actually based these things in, and I thought it was dark purple. No, it was Payne's Gray. That was a test, and I failed.
That was
there
a
you
test,
go.
and I failed.
Live. That Chai Cat says, I'll be taking my first live painting class at LVO this weekend.
Awesome.
I'm not sure what to expect or how to approach it, though. Do you have any suggestions on how I should prepare? Oh, good question.
Great question. I think just be energetic about it. I don't think you really need to prepare much of anything. A good teacher will help you through the entire process. That's the key. Now, if they've told you there's prerequisites, like some of the bigger courses at LVO, the master's style courses, are requiring you to maybe have some prep done. I don't know. I haven't read all the syllabuses on any of that, so I'm not real sure. But I would think that you really don't have to have much else other than a good attitude and a want to learn.
And a will.
To live.
A will to live. I'm just so glad you said that.
Me?
Yes. We're on the same brain wave here.
This is the wavelength of Monument Hobbies.
I'm looking to, Sark says, I'm looking to refresh my Space Wolves and would love to see a stream in the future on how to work up the nice Space Wolf. Sure. I just picked up the blue-gray, but found a little too baby blue.
Blue-gray?
Blue-gray?
Dark gray-blue and gray-blue is probably what you're talking about, right? If you do gray-blue.
Yeah.
If you just go gray-blue, it is too light. You need to go dark gray-blue and then mix them 50-50, and then gray-blue for more of a highlight is the way I would do that. Dark gray-blue is fantastic. You can also use some of the new colors in our AMP series, where we have blah. Color am I thinking about? The slate gray. Right. Colors like that work really well too to mix in. But take a darker bluish gray.
Yeah.
And then highlight it to get where you want to be, is my recommendation. That typically works a lot better.
D-Fresh says, use your varnishes alongside other products for some decal application and finishing. Love how they didn't react or break as well. Goes on smooth with a brush.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep, they were really done for exactly that. And thank you for noticing. Anytime I use a varnish, which I don't have a call for varnishes very often, but when you need them, they have to do very specific work and need to work. They have to do what's on the tin. So they have to give the finish you want, and they have to do it in a way that doesn't react funny with anything else you've done, because you're typically putting them over the top of other things, right? So
Hired says, after the Canada visit, are there any further details about the Canadian website coming online?
Soon-ish, but it may not be till the beginning of the year. There were a lot of things posed that we had not really taken into account, just kind of learning the way, because we won't be just sending product to Canada from here. We are going to be producing in Canada for Canada, which is different than in Europe. In Europe, we produce here in the States for Europe. Mm-hmm. And so for Canada, we're actually going to be opening up a facility in Ontario that makes paint there. And then the goal is that all of our Canadian product and all of our international product now, for paints at least, the stuff that we make in-house, will all be done there in Canada.
Yeah.
And that in the U.S., we will only be producing for our U.S. and Mexico and believe it or not, Australia for now, because Australia is a little bit different in terms of how we handle them. But yeah, so that's it. And so there were just some things that came up with regards to sourcing all the stuff we need to get production in Canada the way we want it. But we're working hard. That's what I was doing before I came into the stream today, was working on getting that kind of stuff
Logistics.
notated so that I can start handling it properly. A lot to think about, right? This running a business stuff ain't easy.
Yeah, it is a work of art in a weird way.
Especially when, it's fun when we all sit down and we go, we're multinational.
Yeah.
And then you sit back and you're like,
That's a tough one.
There's a lot of reasons why people don't do this, turns out.
Yeah. Beard Raper Boy says, any advice for full non-metallic Iron Warriors? I waited a whole week to ask Jason.
Don't do it.
Bearded.
That's my tongue-in-cheek answer. I think it's a brave attempt. It's kind of like, it's the same question as, hey, I want to do non-metallic Custodes.
Oh,
right?
My.
It's just a thing that, you got to be set and you're grounding for it. Now, we show you a lot of ways that you can do what we lovingly refer to as being like, wish.com non-metallic metal. And so there's definitely a way to pull it off that doesn't feel too abusive. You can start with the airbrush, but your airbrush skills need to be really, really good for you to feel like you're getting the mileage out of non-metallic metal with an airbrush. But you can at least do your base coats and midtones, and that saves you a lot of the work. So I would say work on that. Being able to do the dark base and then your first midtone, and then just work on your second brighter midtone and your highlighting with the brush can help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just I think, do a test model, funny, but like I did with the metallic Iron Warriors that I did, I think same thing. You just want to run through and do a test model so you can basically practice the process that you're going to try to create. So you get it down and make it repeatable. Anytime you're trying to do a whole army with a lot of non-metallic, your biggest concern is going to be, can I make this repeatable without losing my mind? It's really that simple.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
The Ranger says, how does that affect the partnership with ColorForge?
How? Which?
The multi-international
How do you mean?
question? Yeah, the Ranger, you'll have to... are you
It
talking about...
It doesn't affect it.
No, because we sell ColorForge here in North America.
ColorForge makes our spray-on primers with the rattle can primers,
mm-hmm.
and then we are ColorForge North America.
Yeah.
So we own the business called ColorForge North America, and think of it like it would like a McDonald's franchise almost, right?
Yeah.
So we created ColorForge North America. We have the rights to all of their branding in North America, and then we manufacture that in the UK. For North America, and this will help in that regard at making sure that we can get a location in a warehouse where we can ship direct from the UK to Canada. The big problem with ColorForge has been that we import here to the States, and with all of the nonsense going on with tariffs and the like, they're in aluminum cans. And so what do you do when they say that aluminum is at this ridiculous tariff rate to go to Canada and back and forth? So it makes it really a struggle dealing with that. And even though that'll hopefully get sorted, we don't want to have to worry about it. So it will help in the long run for all of our stuff, right?
Yeah.
Things that come from overseas to the U.S. will now be able to come from overseas directly to our Canadian and French warehouses without having to go through the U.S., which keeps prices in line for all of our international customers. We're really doing this so that we can sell to you in other countries the same way we sell to people in the U.S. without all the tagged on price increases. We're very sensitive to the fact that, we are one of the few companies in our industry that people overseas can't get at a reasonable cost because we're one of the few companies that doesn't manufacture in Europe. As far as hobby products go, right? All of our competitors are in the UK and Europe. and they manufacture there, and so that's their backyard. And so we wanted to make sure that we could give a reasonable way to keep value embedded in our products, because that's our story. We make the best quality at the best price, bar none. And so we want that to be true. So we're investing in these companies and these countries to employ people in those countries and to do business in those countries without it having to rely on, the U.S. side of things as much, other than the marketing. We do all the marketing from here. The fun stuff.
Luckdraw says, just popping in and thanking you all for the tutorials. Picked up a lot of paints at Nova, and I'm really enjoying them and learning a lot. Thanks for the in-depth explanations.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
For tuning in.
We love that.
Without you guys, there's no show.
Yeah, that's 100% correct.
Because I would not sit here for hours a day.
Yeah. Dude, I wouldn't. Come on. If I was in a room by myself. Oh, there it is. He's pointing. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh. You can't pick it up. I won't do it. It's all locked and I want to do it pretty. Oh, I almost did. I'm sorry. I denied you your satisfaction. My what's your PSI set at, says Ryan?
22 PSI.
22 PSI. Silly question, but I just got gifted an airbrush.
Dark plum.
Are you adding anything to your paint or for the airbrush?
No.
No.
Just
Tommy
for
R's,
these base layers, I typically like to spray our paints direct through the airbrush. We're in Arizona. It's really dry. Now, I just cleaned this brush. I rinsed it out, right?
Yeah.
I rinsed it out, so it probably has a little bit of water in the chamber. From rinsing it out, you can't get it completely dry. So the second color, like this with the dark plum, has got a little bit of thinning just by the water that was in the brush, but nothing with a lot of intent behind it, right? I'm not purposefully thinning the models.
As Milk, hopefully that also answered your question as well. That was two of the same question, essentially. Stan says, I'm unsure how long Monument has been around. Jason, did you ever imagine you would have grown so big planning international HQs?
Hell no. Jen and I talk about it all the time. Everybody here at the company talks about it. Those people, we've had some people that have been with us for 5 years. Our longest employee has been with us for 5 years.
Shout out to Ruben.
And he just hit his 5 year. He's got his, he went out to lunch with his management team on Friday, I think it was, during the rainstorm. And Jen and I are taking him out to a steak dinner this week, so that's going to be cool. Just a cool casual steak dinner to show our gratitude. But yeah, no, we had no idea. It just doesn't even seem real to us that we've been doing this for coming up on 9 years for the company in total. That includes the Slow Fuse Gaming, where we started making the brushes, right? The bags, Jen's soap, all of that. That happened under the original company name of Slow Fuse Gaming. Then we became Monument Hobbies in 2018. And, so this is year 7. Like, we just crossed over year 7 of Monument Hobbies, which is crazy to think that the paint has been around for 7 years. But no, when we set out to do this, Jen and I were like, we have a mortgage and we have some dogs to feed. It'd be cool to do that with a passion project. And here we are, all these years later, wondering what the heck happened. You guys are just as crazy as we are, and we appreciate that.
Big Bobzilla has been around for 101 months.
That's not even possible.
Nope. Artistic Outlaw says, are there any known issues with transparent yellow? I bought a bottle a year ago or so and just opened it last weekend, and it was kind of gel-like consistency.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Temperature change, any liquid that you have in a bottle for a long time through temperature and humidity changes could suffer from viscosity changes over time if you haven't shaken it and used it. Does that mean it's bad? Not necessarily. You can probably revitalize it by shaking it. You might have to actually stir it back up. But no, there's no problem with the paints itself. That's just an aging thing. If you bought it, over a year ago and never used it, never shook it, let it sit, any kind of a suspension like paints, you can imagine if you don't go in and at least shake them. You don't have to use them, But if you don't go in and shake them up and reconstitute them, and the water portion of the suspension separates away from the pigment, then you run the risk of that water starting to evaporate.
Yep.
Even in the bottle, with temperature changes externally to the bottle, even with it sealed, that just happens. It's natural. You're not losing material, which is crazy to say. Nothing's escaping the bottle, but it's changing into from water in the suspension into humidity in the air in the bottle. So, you just have to make sure that you're constantly shaking old paints. Now, if you can't reconstitute, contact support, and they'll see if they can give you a hand. They can help you out. Mm-hmm. We don't like people to not be able to use what they buy, for sure.
Bearded Raper Boy says, where did you get those STLs for those minis?
These are from a gent named Fummelfinger.
On Colts, I think, right?
Colts 3D
Colts
is
3D.
His main place. And the STLs are generally free, or for the ones that he has done like custom styles that are not just direct GW things. I think it's like for a squad of bros, it's like $20 or something. I don't remember. They are his whole thing was that he wanted to have true scale Marines, something that up against all the other armies in the game looked correct. Because the one thing Space Marines have never been is correct.
Lord Sky Fury says, wow, I can't believe how young of a company you are for how ambiguous you've become in the space.
Thank you. It's crazy, right? It's
First time chat, welcome in.
We like to think it's this community that has done that, and that's the truth. It's the way that people have responded to what we do, the fact that we come and hang out with everybody on a daily basis and paint. We're just nerds like you. We just happen to be on the other side of the paint machine and the other side of the register when you're purchasing. It literally is. I mean, I sit here and I paint. Today in Discord we talked, which we need to talk about a way that we can get Discord availability through the microphone so that we could leave the computer on and go to one of the hobby and hangs so that we could hang out with people in the Discord, not as a formal thing, but as just a casual thing.
Yeah.
Because we just paint. There's a lot of weeknights where I'm up here. I keep trying to get some of the guys to come in and paint with me, just to have hobby night after work.
Yeah.
It's just what I do,
Mm-hmm.
So this is a passion project because I have been painting miniatures for over 40 years. And, being able to take all of that experience, or lack thereof in some cases, but all of my time painting, and be able to come up with ideas for products that are the way I want them to be based on what I've learned over the years is the craziness that we have. We just think we're just crazy enough to think we know enough to say there's a better way, and people have bought into it.
Yep.
They like our products. And it turns out we knew what we were talking about. We made better products.
Wire says, make a great product and people will buy it. It was interesting. So, Jason, why, and this is
and never with a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I rest my hat on that one.
Yeah.
We one of the big things, I think, is that we put all of our money where our mouth is. We don't ask you to pay for it for us. We go through and say, hey, we believe in this thing.
Yep.
And we're here to see if you guys do too.
This is a funny thing, and I was curious on your opinion too. A question is, what makes Pro-Acryl better, Jason?
It's a fine art paint. It's not a house paint. And that's a 50,000 foot way and kind of a snarky way to say it. But there are multiple ways to create paint. And the way that the bulk of the hobby world has always made paint is they've made it like what we call coatings companies. Coatings companies make like more industrial coatings, house paint, industrial paint, paint for outdoors. They might make like temper paints for school children and things like that. There's a way that you can use like latex acrylic bases and things like that. But they will use a way where they take a white base or a clear base and then they just dump a bunch of pigment in to get the color based on what a computer tells you about color, right? Like hex code color. So think about it like it takes what's in Photoshop and takes that hex code and then turns it into color through a bunch of pigment. And it works great for creating fantastic colors. You can create 50 bajillion colors. You can go to Home Depot and look at the house paint aisle, and you can find any color imaginable. Hell, you can bring them a color thing that you have. They can scan it with a color spectrometer. That comes up with a hex code, and then they can type that into their computer and match that color. It's phenomenal, right? The digital manipulation of color is great. The problem is that in making that, it takes into account absolutely zero for mixing and using that color in an artistic manner. It's made to paint walls. It's made to be opaque, and it's made to be the color you wanted. And that's all it's good for. Now, that's great, and that isn't limiting, because when you think about painting your walls, you definitely don't want to have to put 4 coats on, right? You definitely don't want to have to glaze your walls or dry brush your walls, although you can, right? So for what it was built for, that system works fantastically. For what we do as artists, it doesn't work at all, because you want to mix colors, you want to blend colors, you want to thin colors, you want to use color as artist color was meant to be, which means in a more native sense, as close to the pure pigment side that you can get to, so that it puts you in control of what happens, not the paint manufacturer. And so we decided that that's what we needed to do. It's a very expensive proposition, because you're using the highest end pigments that are possible, whereas coatings companies do not necessarily. Sometimes they have to, because the only way to get a color pigment is there's one and that's it. And so you spend that money, whatever. But they don't set out that way. They set out with the idea of affordability and efficiency of cost to make the color and get the opacity, right? And so for us, we set out with a cost no object sense of, I want the right color that works the way you would expect it to work. And so that, you know, a fine artist could pick up our paints, just like you as a beginning painter of Armies could pick up our paints and find value in them and notice that they work the way they're supposed to. When you mix our colors together, they mix the way they would mix for a person who understands color would pick up our paints, right, and be completely blown away. They'd be like, oh my God, these mix so great. And we hear that all the time. Right? That's the thing that gives me the most pleasure, is that new painters will tell me, oh my God, I don't know what it is, but when we paint with Pro-Acryl, it just makes painting better. And I'm like, good. You saw the part that we wanted it to do. We had a little bit longer open time, right? We have things that, you know, don't make a whole lot of sense unless you understand the technology of paint, but that make it easier to paint with, make your blends easier to do for people that aren't, you know, schooled in how to do blends perfectly. They just blend better. They just airbrush better. They brush paint better, right? That's the thing we wanted. We wanted ease and simplicity in the paint, but also the complexity in the paint that was nuanced enough to let high-end painters be able to use it and get everything they want to out of it.
Cool.
Now, we don't appeal to everybody. There are people who are so rooted in the way that they've been painting, which is completely acceptable, right? You know, we joke, we're all old dogs with no new tricks about something. You know, I don't eat Brussels sprouts, even though everybody tells me I'd love theirs. You know, so I get it, right? I get it. I know that not everything is for everybody, and we have some of the world's best painters that have told us, you know, yeah, you know, it's just not for me. That's fine. I'm a big proponent of the fact that the best tool to get the job done for you is the one that makes you feel like the project came out the way you wanted it to at the end. That's 100% the truth. I don't care what paints you use. I don't care what brushes you use. I want you painting. Because painting is such a cathartic thing. It's such a thing that can relax you. It can put you in a better space of mind. That's the part that I hope everybody gets to realize, is that when I paint, that's what it does to me.
Yeah.
Today has not been a good day for me, right? Because I've been gone. You can imagine I was gone for the better part of a week. And I come back to the office today. And last week we had flooding from the rainstorm, right? We had a person leave. You know, we have all the business stuff, right? Spreadsheets, numbers, personnel, all that stuff. And it's a Monday, and it's my first day back, and you can imagine, just fill in the blank, right? It's just like, oh my God, it's like a tidal wave of questions and answers and things and emails and all that. So it's just tough to navigate that sometimes. But coming in here and being able to airbrush these dudes is like heaven.
It's
right?
nice.
It's heaven. Not just because I get to talk to you guys while doing it. It's like, wow. Painting is amazing because it focuses you. You have to get focused, and you get more focused the more you learn new techniques and want to try things, because you become the mad scientist, right? And if you mess up, you blow the lab up, kind of, right? We don't really blow the lab up, but you get my drift, right? The more you try and the more you're doing and the more mad you get in your science behind your painting, the more focused you get to make sure that you do it right, or you think of all the things and all the stuff. And it's amazingly refreshing how that can push the world to the back seat and allow you some space to breathe.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So we make great stuff. We make it for, you know, the reasons I just told you, but we don't make the only stuff out there. We just want to share it and hope everybody shares in this great hobby. Tell your friends.
Get painting.
Everybody should paint.
We talked about that last.
The world would be better if everybody painted.
We talked a lot about that last week. Ryan says, in that 40 years, is there a moment where you saw a turning point in your work or something you really practice intentionally that you feel made the biggest difference in your progress? Dang, that's a swinger, Ryan. That's good.
I think that for me, seeing somebody take painting seriously for the first time, and there are a couple of these that I can think of. I don't remember all of them, but there are a couple that I can think of in terms of like knowing that BattleTech deal we went to at the Dallas, Texas, the sci-fi and comic convention. It was like a Star Trek convention, and it had BattleTech tournament. And so I got 3 of my buddies to form up a lance, and we went out and played BattleTech. And it was a deal where, you know, we thought it would be fun to have a lance mate control each of the mechs. So me and 3 of my friends went out, and we each had a mech. And so there were 4 commanders, and it was chaos and fun, and we played mostly against people that were 1 or 2 guys, you know? And it was funny because we'd walk in, and we were all, you know, back in the day before there was the term cosplay, we were basically cosplaying. We kind of, you know, wore bandanas on our heads, and, you know, we're doing the fun because there was Mech Warrior video game by then, I think. Mm-hmm. So we were just being silly, right? But we had a lot of fun. And there was a painting competition, and that was the first painting competition I won anything at. First one I entered, and first one that I won something at for a Battlemaster that I had painted, the old Ral Partha Battlemaster. And I had painted up the Battlemaster, and I won because I put the reflection of light in they have the pill, the Tylenol pill style. The old one had the kind of oval Tylenol pill looking windscreen. And I just painted a reflection on it. And everybody thought that was so rad. I was using satin or gloss enamel testers paints. It was horrible. It was shiny. I tried to paint camo on it, and the camo didn't show through the shine of the paint, you know, because I didn't have enough contrast. I was stupid. I didn't know how to paint, but I put a reflection on the windscreen and won the contest. And then I got to talk for our age group, right? And I got to see the people there that were really painting. And I remember that really being an altering moment for me that said, oh, you can pay more attention to this and get a lot more out of it, you know? Before that, it was like you'd see a couple of miniatures painted at the bookstore. I always talk about the bookstore I went to.
Yeah.
And like Crown Hobby that I went to as a kid was the basically the Holy Land for me. It was my hobby store, my local hobby store. And it was a real hobby store with people that were like super dedicated. It's where I took classes from Shepard Payne, who's one of the world's most aforementioned like diorama builders. And so I got kind of shown a lot of things, but as a kid I didn't draw the parallel from what I was seeing in scale modeling to what I was doing in miniature. Your brain just sectioned them off, at least for me. It's like, oh, these are silly little gaming metal toys, but over here, right, over here is the $35 Tamiya tank and the frame that I built in the garage with my dad, and a warped piece of plywood I pulled from the junk pile to make fit in the frame, and the paper mache hill that I built, you know, and the static grass I applied, and the mud that I made out of whatever the hell I made the mud out of, and then the tank I set on it, and the painting. And that was art, right? Because it wasn't for gaming. It wasn't a toy. People thought it was a toy, but that was art. Because when you went to the hobby store back then, that was what was in the case that you went to the thing, which was the German Brumbar mortar tank sitting in a destroyed building, and it was just the corner of the building, and I was like, how did they make all those bricks? You know, because it was just on this mound of bricks.
Yeah.
And as a kid, and when I say kid, it's like, you know, 10, 11, 12, you know, kind of kid, and it was just amazing. That was art because I didn't understand it. The little metal cleric, I understood. It was a metal cleric. My cleric was a character I'd rolled my stats for in D&D, and it was all on paper, and I had a story, and my cloak's brown, and my mace is silver, and the face is flesh, and whatever else. And it was just one color, and then I learned about shading and then dry brushing and all that. So there was an art form developing there that I was also developing over with scale modeling. But in scale modeling, I was pushing the envelope as far as you could as a kid. I was a dumb kid and didn't have any hand-eye coordination, and my dexterity was really bad for detail. And I had no patience, so I went too fast. All my stuff was horrible as a kid. But then it started to click over there, and for some reason, that was a big aha moment. It's like, why don't I do all this on these?
Yeah.
And it was that BattleTech moment, right? It was that, some guys are treating these models like I treat these other things.
Yeah.
And so then it put them together, and I was like, it's all art. It's all the same art. It's just used in different ways. And so then being able to apply that attention, it made me more patient with the models. It made me more patient with the miniatures, because it showed me that in order to get good, you have to spend the time. And as a kid, you never want to hear anybody tell you, why do you have to get it done today? Because as a kid, you're like, well, because that's what I need. I need it done right now.
Yeah.
It's funny, because that's why when people ask me if I paint in sub-assemblies, and I always say no, the reason why is because I'm impatient. I still have my child impatience.
You want to play?
I want to have the model done.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I build it all. So what are sub-assemblies? Sub-assemblies are for freaks, right? I want the model to be finished. It's my cool toy, right? And so it's learning those things. So I think those areas of finding patience, finding that miniatures were an art form, and then really focusing on them like I did with scale modeling, and then eventually moving away from scale modeling because I built all the tanks and didn't care and wasn't into ships and airplanes as much as I needed to be to continue down that road, and don't like cars and motorcycles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was never a train guy. So it just became miniatures. And so in the mid-90s, late 90s, it really just became 100% miniature focused. I have some scale models still that are meant to go into dioramas with miniatures.
Oh, okay.
For storytelling,
yeah.
As the scales were available to do so. Because now you can go buy 156 and 148 scale tanks that could go with bolt action, and now it feels a little bit like that. So I don't know. It's a great question, because I think everybody's journey as they start painting can be influenced by so many things, right? It can be influenced by you just coming in and wanting to paint Space Marines or dwarves to put on the table to play games with your friends. Maybe you don't want to paint at all, and you pay your buddy to paint them up because you wanted to go to a tournament that required your stuff to be painted. Everybody has a different starting point. Some people come in and have never played these games and only paint, and miniatures were just such a phenomenal thing for them as nerds, or because it made sense to them, or because it wasn't a blank canvas. The miniature is a coloring book. It's already defined for you. The lines are already there. You just have to stay in the lines. Canvas is hard because it's just a big white open space, and you got to figure out what goes on it. And so canvas is not for everybody, but they want to create. So miniatures can be a guiding path there. So whatever you got into it for, I think everybody's journey can kind of take those detours or those forks in the road where they either maneuver towards speed and efficiency to get it done so they can play more, or a combination of that and adding better techniques so that when they play, their armies get more attention from everybody that's there. There's so many splits in the road that you can take, and they all lead to the same place, which is just being excited to put paint on models. It's great.
Yeah.
I've had 1 million of those. I still have them. Bug King, do you remember the very first terrain project you do? You used Tester's model cement and expanded polystyrene to make a cave. It didn't end well. Yeah, the first terrain that I did was obviously, I say obviously, but like I just spoke about, was a scale model diorama where I was doing a German SKD half track. It was the Tamiya model that came with the dudes. It was the desert North African half track it came with like a 5-man group of dudes.
Yeah.
I just remember one of them was running with a MG40 and an ammo can. He was all hunched down. And so I built all those guys, and I was wanting to make them, look like the cover. And so I built this thing, and I had no clue how to make this thing I had made with paper mache for terrain and all the stuff I'd looked at in the books and been told by all these people look like sand. And so I just took dirt and sprinkled dirt over PVA glue, probably wood glue, and let the dirt sit there, and then painted the dirt. And it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Because, dirt at scale in your backyard is not dirt at scale for 1/35th.
That's true.
So it's horrible. Probably the 250, I think. So yeah, that was my first tryout, and it was all paper mache to get the terrain, the features built. Matt B, would you use the same recipe you use for Blood Angels for Tech Marine? That's what this guy is my Forge Lord, or whatever he's called.
They're called Forge Lords, I think.
Yeah. Well, there are Tech Marines too, I think, or whatever they call them in 30K. But yeah, same thing.
My dad also, it's funny, my dad just bought another truck, and then he just bought a massive truck to carry one of the tanks.
That's awesome.
The American tanks he bought. So he has this huge truck that's this big now.
Yeah.
Watching his painting journey has been wild. because now he's on like tank number 4.
He's just going, man.
Finish that.
He doesn't have the hang-ups. He's excited.
Exactly.
You know what I found is as adults, as kids, when you get excited, you can mess it all up, and then it can be deflating because you haven't grown the patience, you haven't grown the management of expectations, right? When we're kids, there's all sorts of fumbles we can make that keep us from moving forward. As an adult, when you get excited, right, and you go buy your tank and you mess it up, it's almost like the first thing you do is go get more information to figure out what you did wrong because you don't want to be wrong. As an adult, we're fighting it from the opposite side. This won't beat me. Yeah. As an adult. And so I love it. I love hearing about your dad. He's like, I can only imagine being a fly on the wall as he's like,
it's so funny because he's like, every time I try this new thing, I was like, I'm learning something new. I'm like, that's the whole point.
That's the whole point. Well, it's not the whole point. A lot of people don't care about that. They just want armies painted. And that's why I have to be sensitive to the fact that not everybody's here to just want to gain more information on how to paint.
That's true.
And for me, it's tough because I probably too often teach or think of everybody and belabor them with the idea that all of you are wanting to learn more, consume more information, get better at painting, whatever that means for you, and drive yourself further. When some people are like, I just want to get my army done. What color blue should I use for ultramarines?
That's a pretty good point.
Right? Yeah. And so there's no difference in those people is the reality because even though we wouldn't say that person wants to, they're not worried about how to paint the next army yet. They're worried. They're focused on the here and the now to enjoy the hobby for the gaming side or whatever. That's why I said it doesn't matter where you came in. It's all a very similar journey, but we have to think in terms of it being a little different so that we can speak the right language to people. Because if you go, have you ever heard about non-metallic metal? And then it's like, dude.
I know. That stuff is super overwhelming sometimes.
Rattle can. That's for you. That's for you.
Artistic Outlaw says, in the Expert Artist Acrylics line, are there any colors that are less safe for a thumb palette?
Expert, less safe for a thumb palette. You don't want to put like nickel azo yellow into open wounds. It does have nickel in it, so while not being, toxic, it does require like a California proposition, underwriting on it. So the nickel azo is a little bit different, but no, I painted on my thumb palette.
Just quoting Jason really quick: do not put it in open wounds.
Don't put any paint in open wounds.
I guess that's true. I just was like, yeah, that's true.
Duh. Just had a duh moment. Don't put paint in open wounds. Turns out.
Alberto says, what's the difference between the Noosh weathering medium and glaze and wash medium?
Noosh is what we call a subtractive weathering effect, meaning that you mix color with Noosh, you put it on the model, and then you take the color off the model. You rub it off with your finger, or a paper towel, a sponge, whatever you decide you want to use. But you're taking the paint away to generate the effect because whatever paint is left in the recesses or smeared on the surface is what gives you the streaking, the rust, the dirt, all of that. Glaze and wash medium is an additive effect, which is like regular painting, which is where you put the paint on the brush, mix a color with a medium, put the paint on the brush, put the paint where you want it to go on the model, and that's where it stays. Right? Now, you can make it a wash and it slides over the surface better, but you don't ever take it off, right? So additive versus subtractive is the difference. There's a lot of other technical differences in them, and the fact that Noosh, in order to do its job, has to stay open longer. It takes a lot longer to cure. So some fun things you can do with it in an additive sense. You can mix color into Noosh and then put it on the model in particular spaces where you want it and not rub it off.
We did a lot of that last week.
But its primary function is to put it on the model kind of gloopy and then wipe it off to leave the effect in the paint that doesn't get wiped off.
Yep.
Right? And so you think in terms of like, the directionality of the way I wipe it creates an effect because it creates streaking in a particular direction. So it's a little bit more advanced, but it opens up a world of weathering and effects that you can do that are absolutely amazing. Lighting. Saw somebody mix in, I think it was bright turquoise with Anoush, put it on the model, wipe it off, and it went into the runes on a stone golem, and it made the runes look like they were glowing because it left it around the edges of the rune too, almost like the lighting effect, and across various areas of the thing where it had a little bit of light was really cool because it went into the recesses where you would think you would want to shade, but it made all those look like they were glowing. So that was really neat.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So, that's a very creative method of saying, you mean it stays where it doesn't get touched. So, a lot of fun.
Agrippa says, I used to just be a real anecdote here. I used to be just a get the army done guy.
Yeah.
Then I made the mistake, in quotes, of buying some professional painted models. Then I hated how mine looked and kept working until I could paint well enough to replace the pro stuff. That guy was good enough. He painted Masters of Marvel stats that were sold in comic books for mass production, so it took a bit. Looks like you went through a journey there, Agrippa.
Well, yeah, and that's a great way to put it, right? It's sometimes you don't even know what exists until you see it, and it has to talk to you, right, or speak to you. It has to be something that makes it valuable. And I don't know what that means to everybody, right? I don't know what everybody's favorite thing to look at is, but when you see it, it's really awesome. There's a lot of people out there that have a very similar story, Agrippa.
So now you're laying down the
Bold Pyro Red.
Bold Pyro Red.
I thinned it, and I'm going a little bit. These are all character and veteran models, like specialist models. So I'm doing the red a little bit more careful than I did on some of the other models. I say careful, that's not really the right term. I thinned it so that I can be a little bit more controlled in where I place it and how much intensity I leave to the shadows. Because one thing that I mentioned that happens as I was doing the regular troops is that you run the risk of oversaturating your shadows, like the plum and the Payne's Gray, by not thinning the red. But we were going fast on the bulk of the models. And one of the things it did is it, exactly like I just said, it made it to where a lot of the shadows weren't as contrast rich as I would have liked on some of those. So I'm thinning the red a little bit more on these, and probably will for the rest of the models in the Army.
And Adam says, what pressure do you recommend using for the airbrush?
I spray at 22. It's a tough one because pressure is going to be highly regulated by where you are, what your barometric pressure is, humidity, temperature, things like that. We're in Arizona where it's really, really dry. Our standard humidity here is like 7%, I think. So not very humid, very hot most of the year, and 22 just works. 22 to 25 is where I was in Colorado as well. So.
Ooh. Alberto says, most of the time, what size brush do you use? Doing a lot of practice for transitions. Okay, what size brush do you like, Jason?
For the bulk of my painting, I use a number 2, the numbers 2, 4, and 6. Lately, I've been using number 3 Sable.
Yep.
But in that range, right? 2, 3, 4, 38, 39, whatever it takes. Yeah, but like 2, 3s, and 4s are where you'll find me in my wheelhouse. That is my preference.
Ryan says, any advice on getting nice, bright Nurgle slime for my Death Guard bases?
As a paint color?
Yeah.
Or how to make it work? It really works well if you do it as a water effect, right? Like a 2-part epoxy water effect. And in the water effect, you put something like, bright yellow-green, something like that, so that you really have a good color, but let the water effect take it for you.
Ryan says, yeah, water effect.
They make 2-part epoxies. I don't remember what they're all called. Like the 2-part epoxies work really well. We're working on a 1-part water effect acrylic, but I don't have it, so I can't say use ours. But it's something I've wanted to do for a long time. So eventually,
it'll come to be.
Hell or high water. Get it? Get it? Get it? See what I did there, Chris? See?
Hell or high water.
See what I did there?
No, you're going to have to explain that one to me.
Oh, man.
Hell or high water.
Come hell or high water. I'll make a water effect. See?
Yeah.
See?
Jason, just to recap, And by recapping...
You mean interrupt me from what I was talking about. I get it.
Speaking of recapping...
Welcome, everybody.
There it is. Welcome in, everybody. We're Monument Hobbies. If it's your first time here, I see a lot of people in YouTube today and
Welcome,
in
everybody.
Twitch. Please definitely tag at Monument Hobbies. That's how I see your questions best. I've got 2 chats open here, so if I've missed a question, be sure to tag us again, and I will get back to you. Jason is painting up some blood angels.
Painting my hands, too.
You are, but that's all part of the process.
Lately it is, yes.
The last week, if you go back on Monday, Jason did essentially a start to finish Iron Warriors workup. I know some people were asking about that, so go back. Also, last week we experimented with Noosh and a lot of Noosh, and also our 3 new primers came out: Dark Purple, Red Oxide, and Taupe. And if you weren't already excited for Dark Purple primer, then I don't know what else to tell you.
Are you even alive?
We've answered your prayers, your questions, your thoughts. We've read your minds. And there you go. And speaking of primers, I have a link right there. So check those out. Get them while they're hot. And if you have skeletons and you don't prime something with taupe, you're insane.
It's such a good color.
That's the problem that I have with Pro Acryl, is that I say that about every color, and then everybody.
Well, the problem with
thinks
taupe is it doesn't match anything else in the line.
It's
most of our primers
taupe.
match other stuff,
That's
but
it.
we don't have it, so I will have to come out with taupe in one of the next expansion sets.
It's taupe. It is taupe. It's kind of like where is it? Somebody was asking.
It's one of those colors I never knew I needed.
Yeah,
and then it was like, oh, but bone isn't quite what I want for a primer.
It's not bone. It's not dark ivory.
It's not dark ivory.
It's not ivory. It's somewhere in the beautiful mixture of all of that. Rattlecan, you got him today? Nice. Chris loves this workup. I do, Lumberjack. We said that a lot. I say that a lot. No, Matt, he did not finish the Iron Warrior entirely, but he did, I would say, 95% of that model on Monday.
You mean the squad?
Yeah.
We did 10.
I'm sorry, that whole squad.
Yeah, we did a whole squad, and that whole squad got done to what I would call about 75%. I got to do the black shoulder plates, paint the gun, eye lenses, the details.
The details.
The deets and doots.
The details.
I don't like that.
No, you like details. You don't like deets. I learned that the hard way, chat. It was an aggressive skip over to my desk that day.
There was no doot-de-doot-de-doo.
No, there was that, but it was like do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That's not
Chris, we will never use deets again. Then he went back.
I did say that.
And then I was like, but what?
I never want to see deets, the word deets, in a monument post ever again.
Why?
That is a fireable offense.
I'm still here, thank God. I was so good, though.
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, your mileage may vary on deets and doots. No, not dovetails, Philip. And by the way, you're fired and banned.
Banned and fired.
Banned
all at
and
the same
fired.
time? That's hardcore.
We had some beautiful rain last week. You guys got some beautiful ASMR rain.
I don't know about how beautiful it was.
I hate the rain.
You love rain.
Me?
Yeah.
No, dude. I hate rain.
Why?
It's just inconvenient.
It's cleansing.
Nah.
Nah.
Nah. I don't like the rain. That's why I live in Arizona. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's raining.
I think you live in Arizona. Well,
and I'm like,
I
rain
say
doesn't
that.
bring good things to Arizona besides some green weeds.
It does bring a lot of weeds.
It does. I know. Everybody's going to dog on me because I say I hate rain. I'm not a fan of rain. Because
Nothing says you have to like rain.
I don't like rain. No,
I
it
like
is
rain,
good.
but I'm one of those guys that's like, I don't like it when it turns into an annoyance, like and brings hail.
Oh my gosh.
And all that
just
stuff. And like
crap.
flood streets and idiots and driving and got to be stuck in your home.
Nobody-
And the dogs don't go out and pee. Oh.
Nobody here in Arizona plans or preps for their personal experience with the rain.
Oh, heck no.
But when it happens, it's very good for the desert. I will say that. So there you go.
So I am approaching this as I would any kind of zenithal prime. I'm moving the model around a lot, as you can see, so that I can find the angle. So I'm always holding the airbrush at the same angle or very close to the same angle. And then just trying to find a way, pulling the brush back, in and out, so that if I've got like an area like here where I want some red, but it's also in shadow, so I'll pull the airbrush back. Oh, and then it sputters, right? But I'll pull the airbrush back and then just kind of thinly spray on there so I get a little bit of red buildup. But if I come in close, then it's going to put a lot more color on there, and that may not be what I want everywhere. So I'm just kind of migrating around. Like back in there, that leg back in there doesn't need a lot of red. It's the plum and the dark colors that are going to really make that work. And so I will just kind of spritz a little bit of red so it catches at the ankle at that far back leg, and then the rest of it is the Payne's Gray. So this is really where you start to, you know, get the most out of the airbrush by remembering that, oh, I can use it, you know, in different distances from the model, different methods of application. Sometimes I just kind of hold the hammer down, and sometimes I just kind of pulse it.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Just really depends on what you're trying to get done.
Brent says, so I might have missed this. What did Jason think about the pink plaid? I don't think we don't talk about that here.
Yeah, Chris told me I'm not allowed to speak on it anymore.
No,
No, that's exactly what you said.
I said we're going to put this to rest, and I'm going to do this for the good of the company, so that my leader, I will take this for the leader.
It's not
a Samwise Gamgee.
Nobody ever asked you. There was no sword to fall on there, Chris.
No, it wasn't.
You set yourself up.
I didn't fall on a sword. I stuck to my word, chat, and I did it for you. I did it for you entirely. I wish I could say that I am just joking right now. I did it entirely for you, chat.
You did.
I failed publicly. Public humiliation for you, chat. And then
true.
Jordan came up there and just crushed it immediately.
Did he?
Oh my gosh.
I didn't stick around and see that part.
Did you? Oh, you didn't see that? Oh, it's people are like, okay, wait a minute. This is the best version of this I've seen. So if you need to figure out how to paint literally any kind of freehanding plaid like on a kilt, you have a tutorial. It actually came out great.
Nice.
I hope so. But no, we don't talk about that anymore. I tried. I did it for the people. Isn't that right, Jason? Isn't that right, Jason? Isn't that right, Jason? Lumberjack says, Fuse, Chris, and Gabe can't be on stream together. They sound too much alike, and I don't know who is talking. Ozzy, he uses a 0.3 needle, correct, Jason?
Yeah, 0.3.
I don't know what to tell you, Lumberjack. It'll happen again. Yeah, Crippa says, we do enjoy public humiliation. I know, you crazy chat, you. I know you liked it. I know you all literally peed your pants when I took that stencil off, too, as much as I did.
It was fun to watch.
It was like, ripping off a Band-Aid that a wound didn't heal from, hopefully. No.
He was all crying.
I could have used an airbrush. God. I decided not to. Wasn't good.
So now, round 2, just going back and layering up more red, right? If I thin the red down, it's going to just means that it's going to take a few more layers to get back to kind of that not thinned version of it. It may never get the same vibrancy as a not thin version, but that's okay with this. We're painting war-torn legionaries, so we're not really worried about it. I don't know what I'm doing with the shield, but I'm just putting red on it right now anyway.
A redemption arc for my pink plaid. No, that lives in its beautiful sunken treasure form.
Sunken treasure form.
That is the Titanic at the bottom of that ocean.
Wow.
That will live and die on that stream. Yes, kind of says, I've never seen Baby J that red. It was a good experience. He was laughing too. Yes.
Yeah, I saw him being like, oh, well.
Ted Onion says, do you think a good starting place for yellow Imperial Fists would be dark purple from the bottom, red oxide primer from the top, then zenithal with a light yellow?
I worry about the zenithal with the light yellow.
With a light yellow.
Are you talking about like golden yellow from our line or something?
Yeah, Ted Onions.
The only thing I'm not 100% on is the light yellow. I think that if you did that, you could do it with like pale yellow and just get your brightness and values set. But then you'd have to go back with like yellow transparent over the top. I did that on the Primaris yellow guy that I show you a lot. I started with mahogany though, but it doesn't really matter what you start with. Dark purple works.
Brent, I appreciate that. That's what I said. I'm an explorer when it comes to painting, and that's hopefully what I can bring. I like to test things out. I've done a lot of fun tests. I think my next one is Noosh, but more for like colored Noosh for Nurgle or something like that.
Could be cool.
Yeah, like if I did some green and kind of how I do my orcs and really slop it up, come up with like a green, like a yellow green for my Nurgle.
Again, I don't know how much of this guy is going to be gold. This is my Praetor, so I'm assuming that quite a bit will be gilded gold. I'm not painting his helmet because I know his helmet won't be red. It'll be gold for sure.
Sometimes you get Chris Chop with Noosh. Sometimes you get Chris Plaid. I know. That's right. You never know what you're going to get.
Getting much better contrast on these guys. And much brighter red fingers.
I was just about to say we're getting like permanent Cheeto fingers going on right here. Dilly bar red. Jason, are you a fan of dilly bars?
What are dilly bars?
From Dairy Queen?
Never heard of this.
You never heard of a dilly bar?
Nope.
Come on, man. You know what a dilly bar is.
No, I mean, I have to admit, Dairy Queen is not a place that I think of when I think, hey, where do you want to eat?
Witty, speaking of that, 57. Welcome in, Raiders.
Not a thing I think about.
You don't know what we'll get you a dilly bar. Me as a grown man with you, my friend, I will come bring you a dilly bar.
I'm very afraid.
Or when you come and visit me at my house, there's a Dairy Queen. We'll go get a dilly bar.
Is that like your big going out spot up there in the
Heck
middle of
man.
nowhere?
Why not? It's some life up there.
Who just rated?
Witty. Witty said, "Oh wait, I forgot about dilly bars, and now I want one." Witty, I'm telling you, dilly bars the way.
Willie,
welcome in, Raiders. We're doing some blood.
Willie, Willie Gorbrin.
Welcome in, Raiders.
Witty, do not egg him on. Come
what?
on.
No,
Come on. That's not
they're
what
so good. The
that's
cherry
not what we
ones.
Do here. That's like feeding the bear. Do not feed the bear.
Don't feed the bear. Cherry dilly bars, yes, they're amazing. We are doing Blood Angels today. We're painting up some Blood Angels.
I don't have any of the rest of them on the bench because I moved everything when I went out of town so that they wouldn't have to. Chris gets very anxious when he has to move all my painted models.
Because I know that you appreciate them as well. And I don't want to be the man behind the
negative interactions with my models. Is that what you're trying to say?
We broke the lamp, Jason, while Dad was gone.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
It's like, yeah, great.
It's a very fun army, and I don't want to be that guy.
Blood Angels.
Yes. So last week we had some debauchery. We tested out some noosh, but the previous week you can see all of those thumbnails on our VODs tab. Shows you the progression of all of this. So if you need to learn how to paint Blood Angels, we have so much content for you, it's not even funny. Outlaw says, do not partake in a dilly bar. Oh, my heart. Witty says, heck yeah, I can be Willie.
Willie Gorbrin. I just totally butchered you. That serves you guys right for talking about dilly bars. Now Witty is now forever and always Willie. Slick Willie's feta chili.
Oh gosh, dang man. No, not this
breakfast sushi,
again. Okay.
and cheesesteak cake. Hear me out, chat.
This
Witty?
is why. Uh-oh.
Witty, I need your help. Gather in.
Oh,
everybody.
no.
Gather in, everybody.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know that Witty's heard the pitch.
Oh, Witty. I hope
Witty, and I'm going to
just
talk to you with red hands. Because that's the way that this makes it more.
Cheeto hands.
Hear me out. Restaurant idea. We're going to kill it.
Okay.
Those that come along with me for this ride, killing it. Is this the face of a man who's trying to joke with you?
No.
No, this is serious.
Yeah.
Slick Willie's feta chili.
Chili.
Breakfast sushi.
Breakfast sushi.
And cheesesteak cake. Hear me out. Everything on the menu is fettuccine with chili, hence feta chili. And then there's some sort of flavor that regionalizes it, ethnifies it, right? We can have like Southern cooking. We can have like jerk feta chili. We can have like feta chili with shawarma. We could have feta chili. You name it. Anything. Just plain old feta chili. Right?
Wow.
So feta chili, that's the thing. So that could be like 100 things on the menu that don't take a lot of variation to make. It's literally one dish. Don't tell anybody. It's literally one dish with some powder or sprinkle things on it, right? So it's easy. Cheesecake steak. Breakfast sushi speaks for itself. I don't think I have to go into that. Cheesecake steak, and cheesecake steak are our desserts. Because you got to have a dessert menu. So, I mean, I don't know what's left to the imagination there. Chris doesn't think it'll work. I know. We got something here.
Okay. Witty says, actually, okay.
There will be a feta cheese one, too. It'll be fettuccine with feta. It'll be the feta chili with feta.
Sounds like Witty's in.
See?
Now, okay. Huge question. You said you didn't have to explain breakfast sushi.
No.
But is this pancakes or eggs?
Yes. Thank you. We're starting the GoFundMe kickstart. Kickstarting the GoFundMe here soon.
Wait a second. Whoa. We could start a Kickstarter to fund a GoFundMe that then GoFunds the restaurant. You see what I'm saying here?
I don't think you understand how finance and business work.
Yeah. No, we're going to kickstart a GoFundMe.
I don't think you're my finance manager.
Hear me out.
I'm hiring a finance manager, chat, for Slick Willie's
I'm
feta chili. But now we have the Willie. That's the whole point of this story, is that we found our Willie.
There it is.
Don't say that out loud very often.
Yeah, please.
This is a kid's show. And all the kids are now cracking up saying, "This guy's awesome."
Found our Willie.
Mom, can I watch this show more? No, dear. No, dear.
Jen says, sorry, feta fuchili?
Huh?
Right here, feta chili?
Feta chili with feta. We don't want to mess people up too bad.
Oh.
We don't want to mess people up too bad. We don't yeah, it's feta. Yeah, exactly. Feta chili.
Wow.
With a U. And then with feta, should you want it. You can get feta chili, but we're going to call it feta chili with feta. It's all in the nomenclature.
All right.
It's all in the presentation.
Little Goblin's on board. I am ready to assume this responsibility. Good. And we'll send you something in the mail.
We're going to have a dish called feta chili of your enemies. It just comes in a skull.
I want
your enemy's feta chili.
I would like 3% of all of the earnings because this all based off of a question that I asked Jason randomly.
He's not wrong.
This
happened in the District of Columbia.
3 is too
much. Our nation's capital.
3 is too much. I would like 1%. That's it.
Well, I mean, you can ask for whatever percent you want.
Will says, my first thought was you're going to send me an NDA in the mail. Well, we don't believe in NDAs because we're live and we tell you in your face. We've already told you our whole plan. So what NDA would you sign?
I feel like it's out there now. Now it's just a race to the bottom. So not chili made with fettuccine. It is. Bandicoot.
Okay, wait a second.
It's chili, but you spelled chili wrong.
That's okay.
It's chili and fettuccine, but you can also get one of them is with feta cheese.
Okay, Jen says,
Can we add dilly bars? Sick Willie's feta chili and dilly bars.
No, and dillies.
And dillies.
Wait,
Feta chili and dillies. Slick
Jen.
Willie's feta chili and dillies. But see, that closes it up. That makes, because when you have that much going on, it makes it seem like that's the end. Then what do you do? Say, oh yeah, breakfast sushi and cheesecake steak. Those feel like now you just added them on and don't get the same splendor that they would have if you had it. Slick Willie's feta chili and breakfast sushi and cheesecake steak. It just goes. And then you can put it at the end and dillies.
I think the true winner of today's chat is everyone who's stayed for this conversation and the amount of people who continue to stay. We appreciate you.
Why would they leave?
This is a serious business painting stream.
Nobody leaves at the height.
My concern is
the
that
story?
Jen knows what a dilly bar is, and you don't, Jason. Jen, do you like dilly bars?
She's from Minnesota.
Does that have to do with dilly bars?
She's from Minnesota.
I'm not from Minnesota.
Billy Bob PA says, I'm so freaking hungry right now. I'm just hungry. See? It'll work.
I have not eaten today.
It'll work.
So
Isn't fettuccine and chili just fettuccine with spicy meat sauce? Oh, I cannot believe that those words were uttered out of your typing mouth.
Oh man, we're opening so many.
Are you saying that chili is simply spicy meat sauce?
He couldn't even finish it. Is it?
I have a tear forming right here. If we get,
I could zoom in, but I'd have to go up there.
There's a tear forming. This is not a person who grew up in the South.
Jason, thank you. We have 30 minutes left of our beautiful time here with you.
An attorney just told me listening to the last 5 minutes may have entitled me to compensation.
Perfect, Jen.
Is that a billboard attorney?
We're on the same page, Jen.
Cherry dilly bars are the only dilly bars.
Freaking love chili chili bars.
No! Darth Mullen says in Texas we would go to fisticuffs. I'm a Texan. That's why I'm about to fight. I was going to cry first and then
chili
fight.
dilly. Chili dilly
I was going to cry and then fight. Ricotta is better in chili, especially white bean chicken chili. So you could have white bean chicken feta chili, right, with ricotta. Is chili just Italian gravy without noodles? We are killing people later. This is going to get rough, chat. This is going to get really rough.
We're opening up
really,
so
really
many
rough.
Cans of
I thought we were
worms.
here to help people. It turns out we're just here to end the chili debate. White bean chili is definitely not chili. This is true, Darth Mullen.
Oh, man.
As a Texan, are you pro or anti-beans? I'm anti-beans for the general nature of chili. It would have to be a feta chili with beans. I would give it the option, right?
Oh, he's hesitating.
It's hard.
I'm going to have to take this to the board.
I prefer my chili without beans.
We have to take this one to the board.
I preferred it without beans, but there is an argument to be made that some beans, when done right, are good.
How many investors? How many do we need? What numbers do we need to do this?
But how much are they all bringing to the table?
Well, it depends.
Is this an investment where everybody brings $100?
No, or we find just one big investor. Just one.
Well, that's the thing,
one.
right? If it's a variable thing, then I don't know. How long is a piece of string?
I want one big investor.
We need like $10 million.
Okay. 10 million?
10 million.
I could see
Up
that.
front.
Up front?
Up front.
Yeah. How much for the chili?
How much for the chili?
Yeah. How much of that goes to just the chili? Just oh.
Chili with beans is just a soup.
Well, welcome in, everybody. Thank you.
The Midwestern in you is choosing violence. The Midwesterner in me just woke up and chose violence.
Thank you, Raiders, for hopping in. Whittle, thank you so much.
If you just showed up, I'm not going to apologize.
No,
this is the channel.
We don't apologize.
This is what we do.
We show you painting things, and we give you amazing business advice. And actually, yeah.
I don't know about the amazing business advice.
No. I stand by this.
We give now, amazing life advice.
Now, what's funny, and
the advice we give will change your life. That's what we've always said on this channel. We give the most amazing life advice. It will change your life. If you do what we tell you to do, it will change your life 100% guaranteed. And that's where the commercial ends. The little speed talk at the end of the commercial is that we don't know what the word change is subjective.
Okay.
in its outcome.
Change is really subjective to what your life
Good,
is.
bad, teeter-totter.
Now,
I mean, that's up to you.
You know the world is listening to us when Kenny, our sales guy, is watching Twitch and gets a Depends ad on the side of his Twitch,
Of course he does.
which is silly.
That's awesome.
I bet you Kenny was Googled Depends.
It's always listening.
No, Kenny was like, I'm going to Google Depends now. What is Depends?
It's always
Great.
listening, that AI
Oh.
chat bot.
Depends is like, we saw some wild numbers this last week.
Well, just random nerds buying it saying, ooh, I could poop my pants.
I'm ready to go.
For those of you who
Wow.
don't know, we're trying hard to get sponsored by
Yeah.
random manufacturers just so we can build like a Monument Hobbies NASCAR jacket.
Yeah, I would personally like
A company
to see,
being sponsored by other companies.
I would personally like to see Jason's whole getup become like a NASCAR racing.
The
suit.
funny thing is that we get all the time, like literally all the time, we get people that will contact us saying, hey, we would really like for you to use our products on your stream. We're offering this sponsorship level to you because of blah, 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 blah. And I go, how to tell us you've never watched a stream without saying you've never
Yeah,
watched a
seriously.
stream? I was like, are you sure? Because some of them have been like people in our industry.
They're
And
like,
that's the one
"Hey,
that always gets me.
you
I'm
have
like,
good numbers. I'm like, wait a second. No.
like,
Sure, you can send it to us. We might not use it in the way you'd think.
you know we compete with you, right? I mean, I'm down.
Wow.
I mean,
So, anyway, thank you all for tuning in to our business lessons. We're painting Blood Angels and talking about slick willies, billies, dillies, and
where today
chilies.
we're proud to announce that Dawn Dish Soap.
No, don't do that.
Oh, sorry.
No, they don't pay yet.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Nobody pays.
Nobody pays?
No free pub.
Okay, no free pub. What are you waiting on, Dawn Dish Soap?
If one person goes out and buys Dawn dish soap tonight, I'll be furious
Furious.
because we don't get those numbers. I'll be furious.
We're not going to get a royalty
Please-
check from that.
Please
Gosh
tell
darn it.
them. Please tell them where we sent you. Oh.
Yeah, tell the person at the checkout counter at the grocery store, Monument Hobbies told me about this. I don't know if that gets them a good kickback or anything.
There's wow. I'm so glad you're all staying and sticking
Darth Mullen,
with
right?
us.
I'm going to go out and buy some Dawn Dish Soap just to piss Chris off.
No, I need no. Soul Siege, it's on the grocery list. Sorry, no.
Chris
Tell him
saying
we
he's
sent
going to
you.
get furious is literally the don't press this red button.
Bing.
Yeah. That's
do
the one
it.
where it's like, guess what I'm doing?
Don't do it.
I'm gonna come in tomorrow with a 6-pack of Dawn and a Dream. I'm just gonna walk in, slow walk it right past Chris's desk. He's never at his desk in the morning. He's always in here in the studio hiding out because he's really afraid of people.
No, I'm not afraid of people. I have many things to do.
Here we go.
Many things to do over here.
Here we go.
In my cave. Lieutenant Edition Dawn.
This infighting bodes poorly for Slick Willie's future. What infighting?
Jason and I's fighting? I only want 1%.
This is like all those kitchen shows.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna deal with it. And
This is like the bear.
All this infight.
We're gonna be the bear of the hobby company, of the hobby world. Have you seen the latest episode of Slick Willie's?
Vaughn, you're amazing, but you are not off topic. Let me just
You're the
clarify.
only one on topic.
I'm
Actually,
a little off
Vaughn,
topic, gentlemen.
Vaughn, you're the only one on topic. Thank you.
But currently painting a
Chris
flesh
should
tear.
should use his train whistle right now.
No, oh, you're right. We're so back on track. You see how quickly that works? Vaughn says, currently painting a flesh tear captain in Gravis armor. Gravis? What color would you make the cloak? Off-whitish or something black? Tried red, but not convinced it stands out enough for me in the armor.
What color's the armor again?
Let's see. Flesh Terror Gravis armor?
So are you leaning on your flesh terrors more in the kind of blood reds or the blacks? Either way, I think white is a great choice. White robes just tend to do it for me, and you can weather them to, knock down the amount of, overall brightness that they bring to the table, because white can be too much of a focal point on the model if you're not careful. But I love that you could weather it. You know, you can make the hem dirty on the cloak. You can do it in browns as a beginning for the white. Greens really work well. But yeah, I like white in that situation, I think, all the way around. White would be my choice. All right, so a little bit of orange red here, and literally just sparingly using it to pop into highlight spots. Imagine this as being your highlight color. I'm just giving the red a little bit more vibrancy.
Yeah.
Across the top of the backpack.
And this isn't eclectic salmon yet, right?
No, not yet.
Never eat at a restaurant where the staff aren't screaming at each other nonstop, says Northrax.
That's what TV's teaching us.
Well, they're not yelling. Is this food going to be any good?
Everybody seems to like each other here. I'm out. 1 star, would not recommend. I saw a review. I never know if these things are true because it's the internet. Everybody lies for attention. But I saw a review of a restaurant, and the review was 1 star, saying that the food was great, but that they'd asked, when the manager came out to ask them, some Italian restaurant,
yeah,
supposedly the manager came out to ask them how their dinner was, and they said it was great, and he planned to talk, this guy and his girlfriend planned to talk about it on their blog,
yeah,
or their thing that had thousands of viewers, and he was like very appreciative.
Okay.
But when the bill came, there was no discount.
Oh.
So this is all set up to be like an urban legend, wives' tale kind of a thing, but, you know. But it gave 1 star because how dare you not give me a discount when I'm giving you. It's the whole, like, I will pay you in prestige.
Oh.
My favorite thing.
Can't eat exposure.
My favorite thing. Pay me in exposure.
Stan says, painting question. What colors would you mix to get the same color as Dawn Fresh Rain?
Dawn Dish Soap?
Dawn? Oh, you baited me. You baited me, Stan.
I love this.
I'm like, over here, it's like, what kind of GW color is that? And I'm like, wait a minute. Because here's a great example on why we paint, or I'm sorry, why we name our paints the way we name our paints. Because I just thought you just said some random paint color. I'm like, well, that's definitely some weird color out there. And now you're making me look up the color of Dawn. All right. Stan, you're banned.
Oh, Stan.
I didn't want to do that.
We barely knew you.
You've had some great questions.
He doesn't mean it, Stan. Stay.
Yeah, please don't go. You're not banned.
I wonder how many people get banned by Chris and are like, well, I'm out.
I never get...
And then Chris immediately says, oh, please don't go.
I never ban anybody.
No, but you threaten a lot of people.
Oh, they're
and
banned.
That's not how we like to treat our friends, Christopher.
Everybody's banned. But don't go anywhere.
We need your love.
Sir Blame says, I hate reviews. I tend to go and just see it for myself.
We get a lot of fun reviews on Monument Hobbies. We get some silly ones that are like, you know, they give us 1 star. One guy gave us like 1 star or something for our brushes because his hands were too big and the handle wasn't comfortable. And I'm like...
And then we get stuff Agrippa does.
And then we get Agrippas that say, everything about Monument is great except for Chris.
It's going to become one of our commercials for our prospecting. For
that one.
Finding new people.
Agrippa's was great. It was great. He sent it twice just to make sure we got it.
Yes, thank you. We got it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So good.
So many pointy things on these models. Could I get models with fewer pointy things,
That's why
please?
I'm always so worried transporting those, because I'm like, there's so many spiky bits.
Sued by Rob.
Oh, sorry. Rob, I know you're out there. We love Rob. But no. I'd never been banned. Hey, Flapjack. I've never been banned anybody news to me, Chris. No, Flapjack, you are banned. You are specifically banned. Witty, take it easy.
Witty,
have a good one. We'll call you when we send you our paperwork? ?
Slick Willies. Fettuccine brought to you by Witty.
Stan says, I get the vibe Chris is only aggressive because he's protected by the internet. Stan, I'm ready to go. Come at me.
Stan,
I will.
You hit it on the head.
I will fight.
You hit it on the head. He's a keyboard warrior.
What, me?
He's a keyboard producer, keyboard warrior producer.
Oh,
he's always talking smack, and then when you see him at a convention, you see him at a convention, come up like all ready to go, and he's like running for the hills.
What? What are you talking about? I will fight to the death.
Fight to the,
I will fight
to the
if
death.
somebody. I will lay down the law. I will fight. I will go out swinging.
Arizona man
We will
beaten to death
I
at
will.
convention
I
for
will
mentioning pink
start
plaid.
an arena for next Adepticon where our booth is just going to be an arena, and I will just get prepped. Next time you see me, I would be gladiator
I
mode.
think we need to do like colored Jello wrestling.
I am there.
See if Hank at Adepticon will be like, okay, so Hank, I got this idea. Forget the paint competition.
Yeah.
What about? Hear me out. Slick Willies.
Oh my gosh, we will sell you chili while you watch me wrestle.
It's Nerd
random
Wrestling,
customers.
sponsored by Slick Willie's Feta Chili. This is our big coming out day, right? We do it at Adepticon. And it's all that, have you heard of Slick Willie's? We sponsor the wrestling at Adepticon.
No. Oh, Crash says, painting question.
Yes.
Is there a readily available paint chart / watch guide to help me organize my Pro Acryl paints in the rack?
Yes, if you go to our website, if you look under the brochure, if you go to the Pro Acryl or the paints tab in the store, one of the first clickable things in that menu on the shop is the color brochure. If you go to the color brochure page, there is one of those that's listed by hue, one that's listed by SKU, they're in all variations, by set.
Yep.
So you have all the variations. You can download those by PDF, and they help tremendously for organization and just as a good checklist for what you have, what you don't have, that kind of stuff.
Tadpole says,
Eclectic salmon, folks. We're going in.
Tadpole says, I'd fight Chris. Hey, Tadpole, I will fight to the death. I'm ready.
He won't.
I will.
He won't.
I will.
He won't.
I'll turn on my berserker mode.
He won't.
Oh, let's
won't.
get nuts. You want to get nuts?
Chris is too
Let's
nice.
get nuts.
He's too nice.
Too nice?
He talks a lot of game.
Oh, man.
He's too nice.
The Golem will come out.
You are too nice, Chris.
Golem will come out.
Too
I know
nice.
it will.
Chris is too nice. I don't know that too nice is the right way to say that.
He's too nice.
Chris is a nice guy, right?
I'm just right on the verge of I don't know what I was going to say right
Too
there.
nice.
See, there's me saying something inappropriate or not saying something appropriate enough. I am who I am, chat.
I yams what I yams.
I do it for you.
I yams
And
what
if
I
you
yams.
told me to Jello fight you in an arena, I would do that for you because I'm too nice.
And I can't bees no more.
Just ask politely to fight me in the Jello arena, and I'll say yes. I'll fight. He asked
Everybody wants
nicely.
to fight
Let's
Chris
go.
in a Jello arena?
Let's go.
Okay. There you go.
Wow.
I think we're onto something.
A lot of cool stuff coming out of this chat today.
I think we're onto something.
We all have great business ventures and ideas, but at the end of the day, we would like you guys to paint. That's the moral of this story.
This has been a Jason needs a
Hey, that's okay.
a reprieve stream.
Hey, this is okay. Reprieve, Proncleve, Proclave.
Chris only
whatever you
fights
want.
nice people. Also true.
Spaznat. Oh, I'm so sorry. Psh, no, I'm so sorry. This is the weirdest fight I've ever seen in my life.
They turned Canadian.
Hey, sorry, eh?
Ooh,
Sorry, I
I'm so
punched you in the
sorry.
face,
You're
eh?
okay. Eh? Did you hear that Bob and Doug are getting together to do another Great White North?
No.
Like a sequel? Rick Moranis has come out of retirement for Spaceballs 2 and for doing Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm stoked to see what that means.
But you're not a Spaceballs fan.
I hate Spaceballs, but I like the Great White North.
That's true. Rick Moranis, man.
Somebody ate the last jelly donut, eh?
Crazy.
It pee so bad I could taste it.
Have you been seeing my gym reports in the Witty stream? No. Tadpole, I'm sure. I know you're always saying you're coming from the gym. I know you're probably loaded.
Loaded.
I would do it for you though, Tadpole Jackson. See, I would do it for you. 'Cause I'm a nice person. We'll Jello wrestle. Chris, does HR ever call you because your accent attempts? Stan, no, they're all extremely appropriate. And apparently HR is against me too. So I have no allies here. Stan, not even HR. If I went into
Why were you
Ellie's
supposed
office.
to have allies?
I would think so. I don't need them. Can I use thin down pyro red instead of transparent red? What is the difference, says the Amazing Sauce?
Two different pigments. Transparent red is more of a naphthol, so it's not a pyro red. So it's just a different red in general. But can you? Yes, 100%.
Phil,
working in close with the eclectic salmon.
Yeah. Phil,
so
I
that
appreciate
I can just get
that.
it on the areas where I need the highlight to be the brightest. So one of the things, as you're using the airbrush to do more and more of your work, you have to be able to get comfortable working in close. You know, I'm in at about, I don't know, a half an inch or a quarter of an inch away from the model. What I've done here is I've taken the eclectic salmon and I have mixed it in with the pyro red so that I don't have to do that pyro red filter over the top. I'm going to have a pretty good red here, I think, at the end. I might still have to do the pyro red. We'll play around with it. But my hope was that I could do this and avoid it at the end of the day. But
Philip says, I'm here for you unless Jason tells me to. Says Philip.
Tells you to what?
That he's on my side.
Oh.
Unless Jason tells me not to.
Not to be on Chris's side?
Right. Philip, you're banned, so.
Why are you banning one guy who said he would come to your aid?
Yeah, Philip. Monument Philip, you're banned.
This is why you don't have anybody on your side, Chris.
What?
I'm sorry to have to tell you that, but that's kind of how that works.
Oh, no. I've been doing this all wrong. I thought people wanted to be banned. Speaking of being banned.
Welcome, everybody.
That was perfect. I tried to do that with Jason. I tried to do that with Gabe. I tried to do that with...
I am Jason, by the way.
I tried to do that with, Jordan. No, you're not Jason. You are Slick Willie's Feta Chili today.
I'm Jason.
Jason has not entered this room.
I am Jason. It is I.
It is I, Jason, HBD TV Craze.
That's not a
And
name.
I'm here to pitch you Slick Willie's Feta Chili and poop in your pants with... No, not pants. Pant.
It's not plural.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I got it every time you did. Hey, welcome in, everybody. We're so happy you're here.
What in the world is going on
Doomsday
with Chris?
says, is eclectic salmon, so much better. Eclectic salmon, the paint name. I missed that when the dog cropped us in the hobby room. That's hilarious. Gross, but hilarious.
Eclectic salmon is just the funny name we gave it. It's not a color that exists in our line. It is...
but will it?
It is. Originally, it was pyro red, orange, and warm flesh. Now that we have orange red, it's orange red and warm flesh mixed together.
Okay, the Amazing Sauce, this is a great clarification, says, sorry, I should have been more clear. Why use transparents versus a thinned down paint?
Oh, because the transparents are a single pigment already translucent, right?
Okay.
So you're not thinning down from, a mixture, or, pyro red's a bad example because pyro red is a single pigment as well. So, they're just going to act better because they are treated as a low viscosity translucent paint to begin with. So they have so much vibrancy already that you can dilute them and still get a tremendous amount of punch out of those colors. So they will work better for you in certain instances than thinning down an opaque paint.
Yeah.
Opaque paints are formulated different to give that opacity. And the transparents are just naturally as translucent as they come out of the bottle. So you're dealing with the raw pigment, and any diluting you do doesn't affect vibrancy of the hue or any of that. So depending on how far you want to thin them, they can work better in some cases. And in others, you're perfectly fine just using like the pyro red, like you mentioned. I thin down pyro red on these guys for the top coat.
I should have brought my my Thunder Warriors tonight.
Oh, you should have.
I should have.
We could have stayed.
I forgot.
We could have stayed and shared some time together, Christopher.
We could. Instead, I'm going to go back to my place of home at some
Your
point.
abode.
I should have brought them, yeah. I think chat liked them last week. Chat, I was glad we were able to do some of that.
I saw some of the. Well, I didn't see the work that you did, unless that's
You
the
saw a
thing.
clip.
I saw the picture of the. Maybe it was the before.
That was that was my concept one. Like I finished just the normal dudes.
Sure.
I did a bunch. I've been really experimenting with our fluoro yellow, just straight out of the airbrush, and I freaking love it.
A lot more contrast on these guys. Very, very happy with how that's turning out.
I'm really liking the OSL effect I've got on them right now. TK said, would the transparent red make a good condiment on chili? False. Banned.
Yes.
See, gosh darn it. I should have read that one all the way through. You baited me.
Got him.
How would you guys go about painting... Kobo from YouTube says, how would you guys go about painting glow coming from within a Space Marine armor? We were talking about that earlier today.
So like around the neck of the head, kind of like the Legion of the Damned kind of glow? Is that what you're talking about?
Kind of like how you did Horus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's easier to do that with the head out if you're doing the head glow. If you're trying to do between the armor panels, then, after you've painted everything else, you can go back in and add like a white in between the panels and then the glow color over that, like you would in EOSL, and then another layer of white and edging and color. So you're basically going back and forth from white to the color of the glow, white to the color of the glow, white to the color of the glow, moving the white to brighter or to smaller and smaller highlights as you go. And then you get a glow. So you can do that from inside. Same thing around the collar. I just typically would like to do it without the head in there. Unfortunately, like when we were doing Horus, Ascended, or whatever his name is, we did it with his head already in there. And it was just kind of paint around the head.
You did do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to ask you. I want to do the same effect.
Yeah, head was already in there, and I just, before we painted the flesh on the head, I painted the surround, and then I came in and painted the flesh, and I mixed the reds and oranges into the flesh as we went to give the glow into the actual skin color, too.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Interesting. Got it. Okay. Stan says, serious question. So Bold Pyro Red is a single pigment, like orange red? I assume that the pigment, but which means the base, I think I have that right. Oh, you're talking about like how we name our paints. So like how do we name our paints, Jason?
In most cases, there are a couple of outliers in this because of the way it sounded, which sounds funny. So like white blue should actually be blue white. Oh. Because the second name should be the primary color with the first adjective being the additive to it is the way that I prefer to do it. But colors like white, blue break that mold. A couple of them do, just because blue, white doesn't sound as good. White, blue rolls off the tongue better. So we called it white, blue. But the nomenclature is generally like orange, red is a red with a little bit of orange. Like blue, green would be a green with a little bit of blue. Green, blue would be a blue with a little bit of green, and those are different. Right.
Yeah.
So
and Dark Sea Ben doesn't have a little bit of Ben in it, so I just wanted to make sure.
Correct. Good catch, Chris.
Just wanted to make sure we're all on the same
page. Good catch.
Page.
We want to make sure that we are not talking about Soylent Green being made out of people. Even though on our green it says Soylent.
Are you sure? Says Chadwell Jackson. Are you sure? Gosh, I hope so. Many people harass for Carpenter Lori in this. Actually, Matt B says many people. Horus was corrupted by Logar and the Serpent Lodge, but it was actually feta chili. Fetty chili.
Whoa! I will not be held accountable for any of this bad narrative you're talking about. That was definitely Erebus. I had nothing to do with any of this. Erebus and Lorgar, mostly Erebus and Corferon, not really Lorgar. Lorgar has to be held accountable, but also not all his fault. So, just want to make sure we're all starting from the same foundation of understanding.
Please don't eat the paint. I know we have to really say that for legal purposes, but don't do that. It's not good. Do not put paint in your mouth. Just use it for your models. Maybe get crazy for something else, but don't eat it.
Don't eat the paint.
Isn't that right, Jason?
Don't eat paint! Don't make me come over there.
Stan says, do you have any employees...
I will turn this car around.
...named Ben? No, we do not. Not anymore. That's why we have so much Dark Sea Ben. Ooh.
Once it's gone, it's gone.
Oh, that's fact.
We can't make more bends, it turns out.
Gameplay says, wait, are we getting a Pro Recro color named Soylent Green? What does it look like? Soylent Green?
It already says Soylent on the green. What are you talking about?
No, but known oil so tasty. Don't eat any paint in the world, Tommy.
That's really scary, by the way.
What's that?
Drinking Nuln oil.
Ooh. Oh!
Don't do these things. Take it from us, chat.
New color suggestion, Dark Sea Chris. Wow, thank you.
Yeah, Dark Sea X is just going to be whoever we're tired of next.
Dark Yellow Chris or Blue Green Chris. Oh, I see what you did there, Monument. Clever you.
Clever you.
Princess Donut says, any tips for shaky hands?
Yes, actually. Be able to paint in a way that you can be comfortable enough in your workbench so that you are able to steeple your fingers.
Okay.
And give yourself I guess the support that you would need for airbrushing, maybe not so much, but for paintbrushing, right? I'm at a standing desk all the time. So for me, my arm is literally where my elbow is where the desk is at height. So if I turn around, it's at elbow height. So I can rest my forearm flat from elbow to wrist on the table. And it gives me the stability of the arm, so my wrist is free to move. I'm not holding the model and balancing all of that from my shoulders anymore. So then I can come in here and I can pick, like, depending on what I'm doing, I might put my pinky finger on one of my fingers from my other hand because this hand holding the model is now stable. So I can rest a finger there, put a finger on the model, a finger on my hand, and now I've created kind of a tripod. And I will generally take my middle finger, which is my guiding finger for my paintbrush, and place it on my thumb. And now, regardless if I were to have shaky hands or not, I can lean into my arms and stabilize all that to where now I've got way more points of contact than this, right? Yeah. Just floating around with none of that. So get comfortable with finding a way to put at least 2 of your fingers down, if not 3. Like I have these 3 that are typically always leaning, and I don't have any shakes, but this just makes it to where I don't ever have to worry about it, right? But the idea is to have a work surface where you can have the arm that's holding the model be flat on the surface so that you're not doing this. Because if you're having to hold the model, you're supporting all of that from your shoulder. And then if you have shaky hands on top of that, it just exacerbates the problem. So if I steeple while I'm holding it like this, I'm just having everything move. Yeah. Right? So it's this support first, being able to do that, whether that's at a table that you're sitting on, maybe lower your chair to where it brings the table up to like 3rd grade eating peanut butter at the elementary school level, and you can put your arm across it and lean into it, rather than also it fatigues and hinders the shakiness of musculature in your arms if you're hunched over and rolling your shoulders forward while you're sitting at a desk. So a lot of times that posture of rolling your shoulders forward and doing like this is really harmful to you too, because your muscles get fatigued and start shaking quicker. So if you lower your chair to where the desk is much higher, put your arm on it and lean into it like that, that'll help with all of that. It pulls your shoulders back, allows you to steeple your fingers and really build kind of a pyramid of strength for you to be able to paint from.
I was just adjusting my posture in this chair, just thinking about that. So you said maybe put your chair lower at home?
Anywhere where you don't roll forward and lean from like the waist and bow your shoulders into the model. Point. That's really bad. You'll find that you have like all sorts of neck pain all the time. It's just not ergonomic.
That's a good tip. Thank you. And by thank you, I mean that was swell, man.
Swell, man. You're swell, Chris.
I'm all right.
No free pub for Chris.
No free pub for me. Come on. I don't sponsor this show.
No free pub for Chris's.
Hey, if you're out there looking for sponsorship or wanting to sponsor a show, that's not a real thing, and we won't accept it. Or will we?
Or will we?
Serious question, says TK421. I don't know, TK. I haven't read the rest of the question, but I will, because you said this is a serious question. I love that you all are now saying serious question. When do I want to use transparent line versus the normal line? When would I use the transparent line versus the normal line, Jason?
The transparent paints are one of the most versatile paints we have. They start being a little bit more see-through, right? They're not intended to be opaque. So like we were talking about earlier, they take thinning a lot better when you're trying to create situations where you want to see through the paint. Glazing, washes, adding paint to metallics. If I were ever going to try to create a metallic color, I would not use an opaque color to do so because you'll cover up more of the metal flake in the paint and have a harder time making that look right. So I would definitely use the transparency in that regard. But there's all sorts of instances where they are just way better at the end of the day. You can use them to mix in with your normal colors because they do have so much vibrancy.
What result would you get with that?
Oh, I mean, if you put transparent red, say, in with magenta, that was one of Jen's favorite mixes because it really makes that magenta have just a tremendous burst of color to it.
Also, check this video out, chat. This was Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan does that a lot.
Ooh, that's the color brochure. Not that one. 1 second. Here it is. Jordan loves our transparents, and he did a video talking about them. You can see a full work
Whoa,
up
that
there.
was a lot of paint.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I still feel like I haven't mastered the use case for transparency yet in my personal journey. I'm still learning with them.
They are fantastic for filters. Filters meaning that if you wanted to say right now I'm going to go back into a filter over this red to bring it more into the true red that I want. You could use transparent red for that.
Okay. Could you use transparency through the airbrush for that kind of stuff?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I guess we could do that for these since I'm already doing them a little bit different than the normal guys. I don't mind taking a stab at showing you.
Yeah, it's up to you. Unless if you think that works for your workup.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Here we go, chat.
I do love the workup.
Oh, we know. Don't we know?
Don't you know?
My needle is sticking like nobody's business. I don't know what's going on here.
I do like using Noosh with our transparent brown, as you guys saw me last week. If you want a fun example with Noosh, check out last week's stream. I did a couple of my Gorkanauts. Really took Noosh to the next level. Used a lot of Noosh. So, gives you a little bit different of example of that.
God. My needle keeps sticking. It's really throwing me off.
Flapjack, transparent brown and what? Petroleum brown. What did I say? Transparent brown and Noosh and petroleum brown. Gorkanauts on ice. Yes, the little leg does look like he can go ice skating.
Give me just a second, chat.
Yeah.
I know we're past closing time, but I
You're
want to
good.
get this done. So I think I got a little bit of
Got
paint
some
goop. You can
goopy.
the cap of a nozzle cap here has got whenever you're painting really thin and close to the model. You can
I
wind
see.
up with a little bit of blowback on there, and so I was getting I had dried paint around the aperture.
Rattle can. Chris, clean the airbrush. No,
He won't. He refuses.
I won't do it.
He refuses. He's not
He's not. What is
good at this.
What? What? What am I not good at, Jason?
Taking your job seriously, it seems.
What? False. These are false. Yes, it could use a drop of bronze, Panic Bomb. Maybe that'll fix it. It could use a little bronze, this workup.
Bronze?
Yeah, just a drop of it, you know?
A drop of bronze.
Yes.
You just said that out loud.
Yeah, just a drop of bronze.
Just a drop of bronze would fix what?
Jason, I know you were lurking in stream, but did you see what I did with the bronze?
No, I wasn't lurking in stream. I saw the thing after the fact.
Oh, I know you were lurking.
Oh, I lurked for a day in Canada, I think.
You did. You were here. You were given...
I might have been on 2 streams where Phil was around.
You were. I added a touch of bronze in all my workups. Just a touch, though. Just a drop. Worked like a charm. Flapjack, I said noosh, petroleum brown. Oh, thank you. I understand. All right, everybody. Thank you. Flapjack, keep me accountable, man. Perfect. That was good. That was good. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, if you guys don't... Do you have any time, Chris? I'm holding you over.
I'm here for a long time, Jason. I'm here for you.
I would like to finish this. I would like to try, since we've had a lot of questions about the transparent, so
Absolutely.
why don't I do this with transparent red?
No, you're good, man.
These units that I'm painting right now are all either HQs, which we haven't painted any of already, or they are the equivalent of the Sanguinary Guard. That's not true. They're called the Praetorian
So these
Guard.
are more unique?
They're unique models, so
Okay.
if they look a little bit different, I don't feel bad about that.
Gotcha.
In the Army, because the reds will still, be close enough, and then all the gold will still look good. And these are going to have a lot of black on them. I'm going to do black helmets, some black shoulder plates. I might go back and paint some of the chest black, but we'll do all that with hand. Okay. So there's going to be enough variation to these guys that I feel comfortable showing at least on 1 or 2 what the transparent red looks like. So we'll pick one. We'll do the Tech Marine, as a matter of fact, the Forge Lord.
Okay.
That'll be a good one.
While we're waiting for that, for the texture paints are different in consistent level. Okay. Question from Dipolar. For the texture paints, are they different consistency levels, the same across the colors? So
are they different consistency levels? What does that mean? They're all different viscosities because of the texture.
Oh, are you talking? I'm sorry. Are you talking about Dipolar? I just wanted to clarify. I'm reading your question here. Are you talking about them being, is coarse gray earth the same as coarse brown earth other than the color?
Yes.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, for the ones that say coarse and the ones that say fine, they're legitimately the same, just with different color base.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Dipolar. I read that question too fast, but I summed it up.
The red earth fine, golden earth fine, those are the same as the gray and brown fines. The courses are similar. So yeah, you have got that correct. Wow, that's really crazy. Like I've got paint somehow drawing up through the seal in the back, which is why my needle was sticking.
Oh, okay.
That needs a cleaning. We will move to the number 2. Who does number 2 work for?
The number 2 needle?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll use the number 2 needle for the transparent filter. Because that one needs some cleaning, or it's going to take us a lot of time right now, so I don't want to do that. Although this one's hard as a rock. Who used this last?
Which one?
The 2.
Oh,
it's loaded with like something that looks like yellow.
Yellow?
Oh my god, dude.
What happened?
The needle is like cemented into it.
Uh-oh. No, I wasn't me.
Did we use any airbrush while I was gone?
I used my, I might have not, because I had to switch up. Jason, that's on me. I did not clean that one. Oh, no, chat. Because I switched to hand. That's why I did it so quickly. Oh, Jason's going to kill me publicly.
Paid professional, chat.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason. I was using my old airbrush for all the priming. But no, that was me. Because I switched, chat, when I was doing the airbrush. I'm like, oh, we're going to airbrush this.
What did you airbrush in here?
Probably a little yellow.
Oh, my God. Dude.
I'm sorry. Oh, no, chat. It's not good. Fired. Mo, you called it.
Chris.
I know that's bad. That's my bad.
Chris.
I know. I'm so sorry. He's gonna kill me.
Well, with that, Chad, we've got to go.
No, you gotta clean it now. Oh no, I must have left some in there. Crap. Oh my. There's a pay cut. Oh no. Flapjack, it's so
Chad.
over. No, you're right. Oh no, I used when I was doing all of the priming with the dark purple and such. Did you clean it? Hooray! It sounds like there's stuff coming out. Wow. He is being so nice to me publicly, chat. He's being so nice to me. Guess we're going long.
Transparent red.
Oh, wow. I should have blamed.
Things I deal with, Chad.
I should have blamed someone else.
You don't have to put up with Chad.
I should have blamed someone else. That was my opportunity. I should have thrown someone else under the bus.
I took it. The Baby J move would have been like, oh no, I didn't use it.
No. I totally admit that. Because I got excited because I'm like, ooh, actually, I'm just going to show you guys what this looks like with a brush. That's why. But I did use all of the priming with my own airbrush that I brought in for that reason.
We're going to use a little bit of glaze wash medium just to keep it at a consistency that isn't too watery. So about maybe 1-to-1 glaze wash medium and transparent red. And then just a skosh, a squeeze, a spritz of water. Oh, that was a lot of spritz. So basically double those. This is how you would make a wash, basically. The same way you would use glaze wash medium and water to make a wash. A little bit less glaze wash medium than I would normally use for that. But close. And just transparent red. You could just use water. If you don't have glaze wash medium, don't feel bad about it. It will work still. It will be this kind of consistency is what we're looking for.
Okay.
Right? So you can see through it. But it will still have a good impact to color. Right? And then we'll just load that in the brush. The atomization of paint will always allow you better and finer control over how you cover, right? You know, I wiped it on my hand there, and it was a lot of red, but you'll notice, like with the airbrush, I'm able to
really get it thin.
Right? And you can see how thin that can be.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have a huge impact. That's what you're looking for. Remember that if you're thinning paint to paint with the brush, you have to be more careful about how that actual transparency looks when you paint it on your test surface of whatever kind, right? When you are using it in a way that, what did I ask? Tech bro, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're doing it with airbrush, you don't have to, and typically you don't want to make it necessarily as translucent as you think you want it.
So this is just a hint of it. I see what you're doing.
This just helps bring everything back into the red, but we'll keep the separation of the highlights that we already had. Won't change our plum and Payne's gray at all. And just kind of unifies our reds again. Because, you know, we use the salmon, the oranges.
Ooh. Look at that.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
It just helps to give us a really, really good red again. And you can choose how aggressive you want to be with this. You could do it into your shadows if you thought your shadows were still standing out too much, whatever you decide.
Yeah.
But in the case for me, I don't have to do a whole lot here. Everything was pretty well tied together.
Rattlecan says, I love when you do that, Jason. Here's the consistency.
And nobody can tell because you're not standing here with it. I get it. Yeah. So I think that works. That looks good to me. It looks spot on with the other model. Obviously, this one's going to be a lot brighter because we have the pale pink highlights on it.
Oh, yeah.
But the red itself, it tracks.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
So that's good. So we can do that on all of these guys.
Perceptron says, what would be the difference between a transparent paint and a regular paint of the same color plus glaze and wash medium?
If it was the exact same color, then nothing, because the exact same color would be the same single pigment. So if you took one of our, say one of our expert series acrylics, right? Which are single pigment paints, because all the transparent paints are their own single pigment. So there's the issue, right? Is that when you say same color, like transparent red is not pyro red.
Yeah.
So it's not the same color.
Yep.
So that's the thing that you have to be careful of, is saying same color and being same color and not the same. Red is not red is not red. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Rattle can. Okay, you actually meant that. Here's the consistency. Yes, I do like it when he shows the actual example on his hand, if that's what you're referring to.
Oh, yeah. If you're serious about that, I can definitely do that more. There's a bunch of times where I'm like, just kind of blow through it real quick.
No, definitely, especially with the airbrush, when you spray it like that, it definitely gives a good idea of the physical amount coming out.
Yeah.
Ooh.
One of the best things about the transparents is how they can unify your color scheme with just a really quick filter. Right? Pulls all the highlights and shadows together. Still doesn't change the fact that I've got these neat Payne's gray shadows.
Yeah.
Doesn't overdo, even if I spray a little bit of the red into the shadows. Doesn't overtake that. Gives me really good contrast. But then makes all my reds just punch up a little bit.
The Amazing Sauce just made an order and got some taupe primer. Excited to use it on my Tyranids. Nice. That'll be a cool base for him.
Sauce, I have to ask, are you the Sauce from Colorado that I know?
The Amazing Sauce?
Yeah.
Yes, Adam, there's Payne's Gray. That's what he did his base layering color shadows in, is the Payne's Gray. So you go back earlier today, and the Amazing Sauce says nope.
Okay.
Yeah, go back to the beginning part of this VOD, Adam, and you'll be able to see what he started with. Yes, Diplar, we did on last week. We launched our 3 new primers. You can see all of those on that stream from last week, which was a Thursday, I believe.
Think so.
Yes.
That was because the first night we were in Canada, Jim and I didn't turn the stream on.
That's right.
Which was Wednesday, I think. Or no, was it? Tuesday. It might have been Wednesday.
I think so. I think it was Thursday. Yes, I think it was Thursday. Asmund says, do you recommend a certain airbrush for the monument paints?
No, not at all. Anyone you're comfortable using.
Yep. And for all of you who don't know, this is the link to all the new primers. You'll see all of our other selection of airbrush primers too. And 2 thin coats too can also, you can use it to, you can brush it on as well. Couple coats of it.
Huzzah.
Nice. We made it.
So we have, I don't know, how many did I do? Just 10
Wow.
dudes? 9 dudes?
How many dudes?
9 dudes?
You did 9 dudes just now?
9 dudes.
Oh, shoot.
The airbrush is a wonderful tool.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all of my characters. All 5. Maybe it's not all my characters. I have 5 leaders. Where's my other leader? Interesting. There's another leader someplace that I forgot to pick up, I guess.
4, 6, 8, 9. Oh, because the squads come in 9s.
Yeah. Yeah, I only got 4 of my because he's over here already done. That's why.
Oh, you finished a guy.
Yeah, we did the Legion champion
Oh.
painted up originally.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was going to be my Praetor, remember, and I was going to focus on him. He
Yes.
became my Legion champion because I got the Praetor model that I really like.
Yep.
So there you go. Good way to get red done real quick.
And that remind us of what you did there.
Well, this went from the black primer to the Payne's Gray base. The Payne's Gray is what I want as a shadow. It goes back to the temperature difference between models or colors when you're doing models that are all in a very hot or cold temperature. So when you're doing ultramarines that are all blue, blue is a very cool temperature color. So you want a shadow that still feels like a shadow color, which shadows are generally cooler in temperature, right? If the sun's not there, it's going to be colder in that area, right? If it's hot outside, you go stand under a tree. So the thing is making sure that you keep a coolish tone. So for blues, I like purples because they're a little bit warm but still pull themselves off as good shadow colors. For reds, colors that are really warm already, I like Payne's Gray because it's a nice dark blue that integrates really well with reds. So we did the Payne's Gray as a shadow, as the base. Then we went into Dark Plum. Dark Plum is just a really good what would you call it? Intermediary color.
Yep.
Transition color is what I was going for, between the blue and the red. So the Dark Plum, then the Pyro Red over the top of that, and then Orange Red as a first highlight, and then the Orange Red with Warm Flesh that we call Eclectic Salmon that you saw me use. It's we've mixed some up because I'm painting so many Blood Angels, but it's Orange Red with Warm Flesh, and that's it. Boom. Then you got them. Then I filtered the transparent red back over the top. The transparent red kind of pulls all of those colors together so you don't get anything that's too pinkish in the highlights or orangish or whatever. And then the only thing they're missing now on the reds is the pale pink that we used over here as all the final highlights. That's the only thing you're seeing that's different from left to right here. Right, we'll do the pale pink edging on them for the highlights and we'll be done.
Cool.
But yeah, keeps really good contrast, gives me good shadows, right? That plum and that Payne's Gray make it go from dark to bright red in a way that feels right. It's not like an abrupt line, so it doesn't just go blue to red. The Dark Plum, even though when you look at these, if you zoom in real close.
Yeah.
If you zoom in real close, I don't think you'd ever guess I used Dark Plum.
Yeah.
But the Dark Plum is what makes the transition from the Pyro Red to the blue work, even though it's not a color that's recognizable on the model. So a lot of times people will be like, why did you bother using a color you don't see at the end? Well, it's because what the color does is worth more than recognizing that the color is on the model. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because it may not be viewable in such a way that you say, oh yeah, Dark Plum is what pulls that model together, but it is. It's the reason why I can get away with blue shadows and they never look super abrupt because they go from being that blue shadow in his butt area to being the red in between, that dark red in between to the bright red in the highlights, is all because of the Dark Plum. So that transition color from your shadow to your main color works really well when you have the space when you're doing it. And I wouldn't do that for every model, but because we're spending quite a bit of time on these Blood Angels, right? They're meant to be a really good looking army. Then you need that, right? You want to make sure your shadow doesn't just turn into the armor color magically. Mm-hmm. You want to make sure you've got that color in between. And that's really what that does for us. So works like a champ.
Nice.
I feel like this poor guy is like the poster child for the army.
The poster child?
Yeah, this guy is always the one that's like, yeah, he's the only one that's done. Well, that's not true. We have more guys that are done now. So it's not pink trout. It's eclectic salmon. Chris, what he's doing now is how to clean an airbrush. Take notes. Stan, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Somebody's looking out for me. It'll never work, but somebody, thank you. Thank you for the effort. The effort is good. Trying to understand bounce lights and secondary reflections. What's the difference in value and saturation in comparison to the primary reflections? Is it lower for both? Does it depend on the material? So terminology is key here. Your primary light is what I think you're talking about, not primary reflection. Your primary light will give the brightest area of the model in value, right?
Yeah.
But not necessarily in saturation of color, because remember, depending on your light color, if it's just normal sunlight in its brightest sense desaturates the color on the model. That's why when we go to, the brightest areas on the model, we lose the red, pump in. Yeah. You lose the red where the brightness is, right? But that's the brightest area in value. So if we had another color that was bouncing off of the ground, like on the back side of these legs, let's say, bouncing off the rocks, kind of that swimming pool glow, I would probably knock this value down by 25%, maybe 50%. It depends on the size of the model a lot of the time, right? But it also depends on the comparison to how dark you went in your shadows, right? Because when I say, you say like a secondary light or a bounce light, you're really talking about the light that's on the darker side of the model. In photography terms, a bounce light makes sure that the shadows aren't abrupt in the shadows. So it does the blend from the dark side of the figure to the bright side of the figure, so you get a more consistent gradient of value. So you don't have a shockingly, some part of the face falls into shadow, or really hard features that get made because shadows don't blend. And so if you've gone like, I feel like this is pretty dark on the inside of his leg, so if I put a color that was half as bright as this color down here, it would still stand out. Because you got to think, this took a very bright color over a semi-bright mid-tone red to achieve the shine there. If you put a color of that same brightness down here, it would look garish. So you can probably knock it down to where just Pyro Red down here on its own as a highlight would look pretty good, right? So think in those terms. You're always trying to make sure that you're controlling it. I think in terms of value, like 50 to 75% is about as bright as you'd go versus your normal highlight. And I would not, on miniatures of this scale, try a third lighting direction. A tertiary lighting is just going to get you in trouble. It's not going to make any sense at 32 millimeter. At 32 millimeter. It doesn't mean you couldn't do it for a display piece where it's very focused, but for armies and stuff, I never met. I don't even do secondary lighting on them. On these guys, because we talk about in terms of painting armies, I only do a primary light source, and it's literally just kind of at 10 or 2 o'clock. From overhead, so that there's nothing too dramatic, so that, as you know, because you can imagine on the table, these guys are turned in every direction as I'm playing the game. Some are facing left, right, some guys pointed back towards me because I'm not paying attention. If there's too dramatic of a lighting painted on them, then they look like a patchwork quilt. They don't look cohesive because the drama never tells the full story in the way you use your army on the table. So I always just do it from above. That way they all look coherent.
Where'd you put the dark plum exactly?
Ravulus, the dark plum is meant kind of like, think of it how you would do your zenithal priming if you did black with white over the top. Have you ever done that? If you do a zenithal prime with black and white, that first color that I put over my shadow color, the paint's gray, you can just paint the whole model with, doesn't matter. And then the next color, the dark plum, is used like a zenithal. It wants to hit all of the top facing colors and blend into the shadows. I don't want to cover the shadows entirely. I don't want my Payne's gray to go away. I just want my Payne's gray to blend out into the dark plum. Then the next color is that same zenithal mentality with the bold pyro red in this case, but just retreated. I don't go as far into the shadows. I want to leave some of the blue and some of the plum showing, right? So you're constantly what I call painting yourself into a corner. Every subsequent layer gets smaller and smaller, but they all come from the same direction, so to speak. They're all top down, so you don't put bright colors in shadows, and they just cover less and less as you finally get to your highlight where you're just getting really close and doing a little spot on the shoulder and the top of the head kind of thing. Would you do red oxide primer to dark plum to blue for Night Lords? That could be really cool. I don't know that I would use the dark plum in that case. I think that the red oxide then well, I guess it depends on the blue, right? Because our blue, if you're using our terminology, our blue over dark plum would not work. The dark plum over the red oxide might be putting a darker color on top of a brighter color, because the red oxide is not a super dark color. It's still dark, but it's not as dark as you may be thinking. And so the dark plum may not do anything for you. So I would probably take whatever blue you're planning on using and mixing it with the red oxide primer. You can do that. The primer, it can be used as a paint. It is not just a paint, but you can use it like a paint and mix some blue into it and go from the red oxide to the mix of red oxide with your brighter blue and then your brighter blue. That's probably the way I would do that. All right. Thank you, everybody. We're done.
That's it.
That's it. We're out.
Nice. We'll be doing,
that layering tonight to finish the monthly challenge. Awesome.
We'll
awesome.
be doing that review on Wednesday, I believe.
Ooh, that's right.
Wednesday
yeah.
stream.
It's because the month is over tomorrow, right?
Yes. No,
Today's the 29th. Yeah.
We have a day tomorrow.
Well, that's what I said. The month is over tomorrow.
I guess it is technically over tomorrow.
It's the end of the month.
It's the end of the month.
Yeah, that's what I
Technically.
meant. Tomorrow's the end of the month. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, everybody. Great to have you here. Great to be back. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend, and welcome to Monday. Hope your week is kicking off
Welcome to
great.
Monday.
We are back I think I'm here all week, aren't I?
You're here all week.
I think you're stuck with me until I go to SMC. Jen and I go to the Netherlands to SMC on the 15th.
The 15th.
15th. So you got us for 2 weeks. Dos weekos. So thank you so much for hanging out. It really means the world that you spend some time with us, listen to all of our crazy antics and our banter. Slick Willie's feta chili, it's coming. And our fart jokes. Thank you for dealing with it. You guys drive amazing content. Thank you for the questions. Remember that we're here to help you find inspiration in what you're doing as painting, whether you're just picking up the brush for the first time or if you've done it for millions of years. Love sharing your stories, love having the questions, love showing you how to do some new things. Hopefully we can pump some cool ideas into your brain that get you inspired to go paint. So go pick up your brush, go put some paint on a model, have some fun, go away for a while, breathe, relax in this wonderful world that we've got here. And thank you for being part of our small community. Make sure to follow the links that Chris put in chat. Remember, we do this stream 5 days a week from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona.
That's right.
From Monument HQ. We'd love to see you back. So hit the follow button or the subscribe button. We do this both on Twitch and YouTube. Simulcast. And we'd love to see you back for sure. Also, click the link for the Discord. We have a wonderful world of over 6,000 amazing artists just like you guys who are great inspiration, great fun, really bad jokes, and just a good time to hang out. I think we're gonna start being more active over there with the hobby hangout rooms too, where it's just a vocal only. I don't know. You can do video on there too. You can share your camera and show what you're working on.
We do that. We do that all the time.
Yeah, we do. That's right. That's how we do the game stuff. So we're thinking about. We have 2 hobby hangout rooms, and we're thinking about really starting to schedule that out to where once or twice a week I sit here and paint, and it would be great because then you guys can show off and take some time, and if it takes friends and socializing to really get you motivated, I'd love to be a part of that. So keep an eye out for that stuff. Make sure to check out the store. It's how we keep alive around here. Buy some of our Monument Hobbies goodies the next time you need some paints, brushes, and so on and so forth. Thank you so much for your support. Stick around. Chris is going to find you somebody to raid, so show some love in the channel we wind up in, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Adios, gang.